It's nutsack risotto.
What way?
Kiri. I wish I didn't see it, but I did. And I'm scarred for life.
What, nutsack linguine?
The fuck? What is with you and this gay shit, man? Damn, leave balls alone.
That's the person who keeps threatening to put his balls on all of my stuff. I'll tell Jeremy. No, because then he'll just put his balls on my stuff too.
Like, you see this drum set?
No!
Reminds me of Step Brothers. Or not Step Brothers. What's the name of that movie? Repo Man.
You stole my shit.
Because you moved it to your feet.
You stole it, the precious.
You gotta respect Dibs, man. He put his art supplies there.
Actually, they were to the side.
Fucking, I'm trying to help you, goddammit. Don't look at me. Don't you look at me like that.
If anything, always there.
Yeah, but Jason's here. He's a guest.
Fuck you! No, no, you good.
You should go upstairs and look at Sonny with that.
I think it'd be better in his hands because it's a really low riding seat. It's awkward.
No, you stay there. Guest.
That way he can see you. He can't see Shadow from right
I
there.
can never see Shadow because the lights aren't on, though.
No, you just call me Mad Black.
Midnight.
I have nothing but respect for your level of blackness. Thank you very much.
Wesley Snipes.
No, he's not that bad.
Is he?
Wesley Snipes is like, that's advanced. This is advanced darkness.
He's like solar eclipse. If you were to ever try to get a tan, kind of dark.
Word, does the light just reflect? Like, it's just...
Like, he absorbs it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he's like that black that's so black it just absorbs everything.
Yep.
That's creepy.
Light can't escape from his gaze. He's so black.
So they should have sent him after Light in fucking Death Note then.
Yeah.
Lights can't escape this.
Like, why do you think they made him a daywalker? Because Blade wasn't a daywalker until the movie.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That's gonna be weird though, having him be in the movie but not be Blade.
It was actually interesting. People were complaining because there were rumors that they were going to make Blade Muslim. And it doesn't really matter to me, but it's like if you watch the old movies, you see him meditate and stuff, so that could just be him doing his salats in the new movies. So it's like it's not an issue.
It's really not.
They might like drop some knowledge here and there, but for the most part, like literally, he goes on missions and then he meditates. He has his flower and everything, and he like.
Unfortunately,
That's what you meant. A recreation of Mr. Hands.
Yes. They tried to kill her.
I'm surprised he's not dead yet.
So Joe, how was your hunting going? I saw you on. Was it last night? It was last night, I think.
It's been alright. I've been very much being very petty, and because for whatever reason, certain elder dragons like Teostra, I'm no longer able to beat within a regular mission. So I will find it in the wild and beat the bricks off this fucking thing.
it's funny. I've watched him do it, and he's really just in his own head. He can do it. I think it's just a mental thing.
Iron Banner is on in Destiny 2, but as soon as I get tired of it, I'm helping you out with beating some Elder Dragons.
The fact that you know you'll get tired of it, though. It's like, Dustin, you're not... I had a dream that Dustin was just randomly there. I'm like, ooh, Dustin, what are you doing? You're not doing your job. No, I'm kidding. That's fucked up.
I mean, the only reason I run Iron Banner is because some of the armor looks really cool. But other than that, yeah.
I can't do it at all.
And I'm under level now because I haven't played since the literally I stopped playing right after Forsaken. I just wanted to kill the dude 3 times for messing with my boy.
I tried. Because for me, I love Destiny 1.
Yeah, Destiny 1 PvP was the best, but Destiny 2 just has really good strikes and like PvE content. But 6v6.
There was like a good while where I didn't have internet. So when Siva and all that stuff came out, like right before Destiny 2 dropped, and it went from you need a certain light level and everything.
See, I
was too far behind to where I couldn't get back up there.
Yeah. See, I didn't play any of Destiny Year 2. Destiny 1 Year 2. I literally, after, Crota? Yeah, after Crota, I ran Crota a bunch of times, and then I started dipping off of Destiny 1, started and other stuff. So, like, everyone's like, oh, Year 2 Destiny and Year 2 Gjallarhorn. I'm like, y'all are trash, because I had to give it to you. You couldn't earn it yourself.
I definitely was. Like right now, I can't get back into Destiny at all. I tried, but man.
I know one of the things I don't like about
You
Destiny
tried.
2
What do you mean you tried?
PvP maps is like there's not really good like sniping maps. There's like 2.
On what?
Destiny 2.
There's a few. You got it. It's honestly they brought it down to like you have to be good with snipers.
Because I used to just run around and like actually no, it was messed up. There is this one map, can't think of the name of it. It was in Destiny 1. They brought it back to Destiny 2 and they tweaked it a little bit. There's one spot I used to sit and I could snipe people from all over the map, and they put like a rock right there in front of the spot where I used to sit. Is the map where it is usually when you're doing like capture territories, and there's like one territory in like this little like cave area.
Isn't sure.
Yeah, there's a spot I used to sit where I can snipe people from like I can basically see people from each spot, and they put a rock in front of it, so it's like okay, I can't do stuff now. It's terrible.
As far as I remember, that like if it's like where I think it is, like where I think I'm thinking about, it's always been there.
Oh, it never hindered me in Destiny 1. I used to like shoot.
I mean,
like,
we used to be able to shoot through walls.
Yeah, that is true. Deep impact. That was great.
Used to shoot people through walls with armor piercing rounds or piercing rounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as that little shebang is through with, as soon as I get back on Monster Hunter, I'm just gonna fight random Elder Dragons until I pass out.
I mean, because I was going to start doing Shars Valda because it's back, but
Elder Dragons are bitches. And they
it's
deserve
just the ones that I don't like fighting the Elder Recess with Tio or Luna because they in that little area and then area effects, and it's like don't. And now the lava just shoots up out of nowhere. That's now they have to do like a charge attack to the ground.
Hilarious. He ran back into the lava hallway and then it came through the wall and he's like, what the fuck? Since when? What the fuck? Holy shit! Oh, this shit was great.
Honestly, when it comes to fighting Elder Dragons, I don't like doing it in Master Rank. Because, like, they added in, like, so much
extra.
Yeah.
What is the scale up with respect to powers? Because didn't you say it was, like, for a master rank, a regular master rank should be in terms of, like, damage output, like maybe a arc tempered?
Yeah.
I think it's an arc tempered.
Because basically master rank is their version of G rank.
Yeah.
And G rank was always, like, the end game content
is
for...
Is it like 1.5 times stronger? Or like?
Honestly, I think it might depend on the monster. Because certain monsters just hit really hard in general. So when they get mastering versions of them, they start one-shotting. Which is why you see a lot of people build I can't be killed builds, or I have 3,000 defense builds, specifically to go after those heavy hitters.
He was also using, when he was fighting Tail, he was using Cold Tara armor, the arc tempered one. And it's like, that's still like 78. The damage value, or the defense value for each piece is still 78. I'm like, that's...
Well, when he was fighting the arc tempered one, you said?
When he was fighting
or the master rank one. Oh, yeah, that wouldn't really
help.
Yeah, I mean,
which
the
is why
sad part is it's still the best option.
I kept telling him
I
like,
had, even with having Glavenus' armor.
I was gonna ask what abilities do the because I'm not that far yet for the mastering elders. How are their armors? Are they any good? Because in my opinion, Luna's armor, like original armor, was kind of lackluster to me. Luna weapons are nasty, but the armor was kind of lackluster to me. Yeah. Teostra armor is pretty solid. I like Teostra armor. Kushala armor would be great if windproof was actually how it should be, which is like nothing, no wind at all. Because old games, windproof, you could walk through tornadoes. And this one, you need windproof plus extra stuff, and that's stupid. Like, it's literally windproof.
You need windproof plus rock steady. Yeah. And you
might need
you won't take as much damage, but you're still gonna take some damage.
In the old game, if you had windproof max, you can walk through the tornadoes. Obviously, when it's spinning around shrapnel and all that, you still take damage, but you don't have to worry about the wind at all. Which is why I was trying to get Kushala armor so I could farm out the Arc Temper Kushala. Then it was like, okay, this windproof is like.
It's kind of weird the fact that it has a higher ice defense than it does for wind resistance for Kushala armor. I really thought it was a weird one.
Well, Kushala's weapons are ice.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, I know, but you think for the armor set, you would be able to not deal with anything dealing with wind with it.
That's how the old armor was
It's
in
just,
the old games.
I was like, I can understand the weapons being ice because you can't have a wind.
I was actually going to just tell you, in the manga, there's a Monster Hunter manga, and the main character has wind dual swords.
Yeah, those are dope.
Yeah.
So do you have wind?
In the manga,
as an element, yeah.
In the manga,
some of them.
Because I read the manga.
There's like a buttload of different.
What do they do?
Is that the one that Fairy Tail Creator's making?
That's the one. Remember, I asked you, was the art style the same? That was that one.
Hiro Mashima, dude makes a Fairy Tail made.
Because it was one of those things like I don't remember the specifics. I read it way back, but it was something along the lines of like he like ran to Kushala the Road when he was a kid, and it like left some scales for him or something, or he found some scales or something like that, or destroyed his village or something, and he basically had the scales, and then someone took him in, and basically that someone basically fashioned those scales into weapons. Instead of having ice attribute, they had wind attribute, which was freaking cool.
Just dope, the idea that a monster could just like, oh, it scratched itself on a tree, and there's like $1 million worth of fucking scales sitting over there.
And he basically was trying to grab the Kushala, so he has to like go through different quests and rank up and everything. He gets allies, and they become bowgun. Actually, I think the bowgunner was also their smith. And then there was I think the girl was a greatsword user. I think it was only like 3 of them. It was like him and 2 others, if I remember correctly. But like I said, it's been a long time since I read it. Because they also have like Monster Hunter cards and stuff. They have crap ton of Monster Hunter stuff that doesn't come here.
But he's actually doing good. I'm just telling him, like, you're wearing paper towels to fight a dragon. And he's doing good. Like, he almost killed it.
See, that's the fucking thing that gets me. It's not...
the closer you get, and then you're just like, no! Yeah.
It really is. And I do wear calls because it's like, alright, agitator... Maybe I'll just bring in the Challenger Mantle so it forces it to chase me. I'll just bring it out at fucking
Have you
area.
tried using... Because I don't usually use them too much, but dung pots?
You can't use it until it'll just burn it.
Okay. Because I know you can use it on regular monsters. I've never really used them on Elder Dragons just because...
Luna and Tia are the only ones you can't use dung pots on because it burns it away.
You would think that would make it smell worse, though.
Yeah.
See, that's what I thought, but no. I've never, even back in just in regular highway or anything, I was never able to force them to leave because dung pods don't work on it.
And the older game was actually they were easier but more annoying because in the old games, like you know how now they have like blast and they have like the fires around their body. In the old games, imagine instead of like those particles being blast, those particles was like fire damage. So if you're within like a 30-foot radius of them, you just take damage as you get closer to them. Instead of like, you know how now is like there's the blast, but the blast doesn't do anything, but there's that fire body armor. It was like a space around them, which was really annoying. But in the old game, if you broke their horns, it deactivated all their dragon abilities. So you broke Kushala's horns, you didn't have to worry about the tornadoes. You broke Camelio's horns, wouldn't turn invisible as much. If you broke Luna and Teostra horns, it would take off all the fire body armor and stuff.
And that's another reason why I like the Calls armor is because I don't have to worry about being up on it, taking heat damage.
I was actually gonna say there's a charm for that. If you want to use a different armor set, if you
have to sacrifice his earplugs.
That's what I was gonna say. If you're not a charm heavy guy, there's or not a charm, talisman.
Yeah, but see, I spent like 15 minutes trying to make sure I get all the right decorations and whatnot because I use between drain jewels for certain monsters because I get tired and I'm running around over the fucking place.
The only thing that annoys me for that is Tigrix, Fetulous, or not Fetulous, Rathalos. That's the only thing that annoys me in terms of moving around and staying in the air. Everything else I've fought before in previous games, so I'm used to like them being annoying. But now that Rathalos stays in the air all the time in Master Rank.
Yeah, I
And the Clutch Claw helps with it, but it's like
monsters with that body too tend to be energetic. Because you got Nargacuga, you got Barriok, and you got Tigrex. And they're always hopping around the map, jumping everywhere, doing all this that turn. Exactly.
I remember there was this old map where a Nargacuga, it was basically a jungle, so Nargacuga would fight you and it would just jump straight up and just come down.
The crazy thing is, like, the problems I have with, like, let's say I have a problem with, like, certain monsters like T-Rex and a few others. Joe gets by with them, like, apparently they're his bitch.
That's exactly how I know.
Probably. And then,
Went from being a cat's eye to a toad's eye now. Oh god, now it's like fucking diagonal.
Is it really? Yeah.
A little bit.
Becoming a sage.
Genki or Sharingan just
So we didn't have Arnaldo here, but now we have another person with the eyebrow.
Golly, you can't talk about Arnaldo.
He's gonna be here next time, so I'll talk about him then.
Yeah, wait till then. He's off limits today.
But, like, I have problems with, like, T-Rex, not really Double Joe. Double Joe's a bitch. Basil is easy for me.
I'm just trying to hold in all the like the Jiraiya jokes and shit. It's like, I can't stop staring at it.
Say, if you, like, with the Jiraiya jokes, you're gonna have to deal with Joe on that one.
You in foot range.
Yeah, you already like, eyeball you, like, go ahead and say something.
Joe always eyeballs me. I'm always saying something that pisses him off. For example, we're gonna get into it. Yeah. Before we do that, though, who's here? Who are you?
This nigga was recording the whole damn time.
Yes. I've been recording since Nut Risotto or whatever that was.
What?
The fuck is what?
I said that randomly. That was the first thing.
Oh, wait, nut spaghetti or some shit. I don't know.
He said, and I kept going. Nothing.
BBJ in the house.
The Joe Kage.
I'm not a joke. I quit.
He's the only person that turns on heat and shit. So I'm like, you the one that's in charge of all the stuff.
I'm not the one in charge of it. He is.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
what?
you're the liaison between all the different things.
Why am I? So I'm everybody's bitch. Then what you trying to say?
It doesn't make you everyone's bitch.
Yes,
Are
it
you
does.
no, when Jeremy said that, I'm like, that makes us the bitches because we do things to make things keep running.
Yeah.
No, that's not how that works. I refuse to believe that. That's like saying the janitor's the bitch. It's like, okay,
If you're
so
not
the janitor, not
you're the Naruto during Tsunade's reign, because when she was giving out orders, Naruto was doing everything.
Wow. Well, we'll just depend on Naruto. It's like, bitch, do some shit yourself.
She came down once to fight, and then
She got separated by a fucking tree.
we're
When I saw that comic panel, I was like, yo, your head is up here, your legs are down here. How'd that happen? The fact that she came back from that was bullshit. But anyway, who are you?
SolarSir, polluting your airwaves yet again.
Skira.
Some random black guy with one contact. And
So, I was about to say, some random black guy with a cat's eye.
exactly.
Fires.
Yeah. And then me, Ungrateful Ninja.
It's kind of funny. I'm getting like people are saying happy birthday like fucking 2 days. It's like it was too fucking.
If it's 2
Oh,
days, I
on-
don't say
on
anything.
your-
I just give you something. 'Cause
on your post when you're thanking everybody.
No.
At least say
well,
belated,
that
shit.
too. No, they were just saying happy birthday. It's like
nigga, you can't look at the time.
actually it's 3 days later now.
Oh shit.
See, I can
Oh, yeah,
understand
it's,
up to 2 days because some people are forgetful, and
Or
then
some
they'll
people just aren't on Facebook.
someone
They're just
and
days where I
someone's
just don't
birthday
go
will
on
pop
Facebook.
up, and they'll say like, "Oh, past birthdays," and then it's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I forgot." God damn.
Yeah.
Or Joe, or it gets worse when you
But
have a
3
friend's
days
birthday on the 3rd, relative's birthday on the 5th, another relative's birthday on the 7th, another relative's birthday on the 8th, and it's like, okay, it's too many of y'all in this whole week, so I'm just gonna say nothing.
That's September for me. That's why I have.
That's November for me, because
I have everybody's birthdays.
somebody's
in the
birthday
calendar.
is on the 8th, but they're in Japan. So if I send it on the 8th, we'll get it into the 9th. So it's like, no, I ain't gonna say nothing.
We need to be having her send us just random shit.
She keeps trying to, and I'm like, but you broke though. She's like, hey, let me know what model kit you want. I'm like, is you balling yet? No, then don't worry about it. Take care of yourself.
They have Cash App. She can have cash, yeah.
I don't have that though.
I have that though.
I mean, if you want to send her money.
I don't know her like that. I've only met her like once.
Hey, she could get you the Japanese Vesperia.
I was gonna say, Andre's out there. I'd send money out there to Andre and have him go get the stuff.
Or wait till Colin goes back out there. He got me those 2 Kamen Rider figures.
So I was gonna make some comments, but I decided not to.
Ooh.
Or or we just make a whole group thing, but like we're all gonna go out there
and never come back.
We get lost in Akihabara. It's like, where's Joe? He's on the 5th level of that store. Carl's in the basement of that store. You found an entire building that's made of art supplies. She's like,
it'd be like
take a brick and it's
Cake Island.
It's really sad that that's what you think I would actually go for.
He's going to be at the vending machines with the used panties. Come on.
Those are everywhere. You don't have to be at one.
Just giving out my secrets. I told you that is secrecy.
You think I won't be there right with you? Like,
you gotta like.
Obviously, Joe's gonna be.
Wait. When you buy those, do they have the pictures of the women who wore them? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, hey, I have your panties.
Watch it was like some old grandma that was wearing them.
That's my shit. Give me those pantaloons, grandma.
I'm gonna get you granddad style.
Give me them grand pants.
It smells like Aunt Jemima.
Benadryl. Why it smell like Ben Gay?
I'll probably be the one to be like, oh, now let me in.
Oh my God! No, we can't.
We
can't go to Japan because we just be sitting outside Oda's house like, Oda, where is it? Where's the One Piece?
I know it's real.
We get arrested.
Oda's gonna be like, One Piece is in all of us. Yeah, I just gonna flip out. See his face? He's like, yeah, to pause and like.
I linked eyes with the tiger on the wall, and I was just like, I'll become a tiger and just tear his chest off. It's fucking no, I can't.
Oda's like, yeah, I'm gonna do like 800 more chapters, and I'm gonna just quit One Piece, and they're like, you don't need hands anymore.
They already have like 5 spin-offs lined up that they're talking about for One Piece. So I'm like, there is no quitting One Piece for you. Even if he finishes it today, there's still like 5 other stories that you can write. You can write about Garp.
How did Oda even get big? I need to know how he started.
Oda started out as an assistant for Nobuhiro Watsuki, for Kenshin creator.
So
him and Hiroyuki Takei, who worked on.
So it's because of him that his story even got put out there.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. One Piece flag was in the Luffy's Jolly Roger was in Kenshin. There was a point where there was a person who was on Shisho Makoto's team, right? It was a big dude named Iwanbo. Basically, Iwanbo comes back later on when they're dealing with Kenshin's brother shit, and it turns out he's a puppet, like not living, but like he's a person puppet, and there's a guy inside of him that's like controlling him in the Senate. This old guy, and basically, dude left the puppet at a certain place because they were like, oh, we defeated him in the Senate. We took him out of the puppet. He left a bomb in the puppet, and nobody knew until I think somehow Sano figured it out. He ran up to the puppet, kicked the shit out of the puppet's stomach, and the bomb flew out of its mouth. When the bomb flies up, what's painted on the bomb? Luffy's Jolly Roger. That shit was hilarious. When I read that, I was like, what? That was completely random. Also great.
It's a great crate.
Yeah.
Because when we were over here watching Fire Force, and I'm seeing shit and how I kind of thought a certain fight would go on my head, it's like, yo, I need to hurry the motherfucker up again.
Yes, you do, because if they take that idea that I even said was original, like, I've never seen that in anime or anything really, if they take that idea, I'll be mad for you. It's shit.
I mean, they're already stealing ideas from your brain when you sleep.
My ideas, yeah. But Joe's ideas are his.
Yeah, but they might, like,
I don't remember all his.
Ping off of your brain and
Maybe.
Close proximity.
Maybe, yeah. You might be screwed now that you told me. They be scanning my brain for fucking, what is that show
Hero
called?
Tales?
Hero Tales. There's a show called Hero Tales. Basically stole my idea for having warriors that are represented by, like, not necessarily like Saint Seiya, where they're like, oh, we're represented by like the zodiac signs, or like Sailor Moon, oh, we're represented by like entire constellations, represented by a person, and then they're like, oh, hey, Hero Tales, here you go. Person who made Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Basically, I think she made that. So I'm proud of her, but also fuck you for stealing that shit straight from my mind.
No
I've had that
royalties.
idea since I was a child. Huh?
Said no royalties.
Look,
I got another argument with people dealing with shonen anime, and it's like the original people who were doing that were all female writers.
Wait a minute. You argue with people other than me? I feel cheated.
Sometimes I need a challenge. No,
Get him!
Oh, you do?
Oh, wait,
you
Joe. You should have been there when him and his mom were talking. It was hilarious.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not
my
allowed
God.
to be near him when he's on the phone with his mom because apparently I'm just the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
The world!
Sawardo!
It was hilarious.
She told me to call this dude, and then she tells me that, like, okay. She tells me to call him. I tell her I don't have his number. Then she says, okay, I'll send his number. And then a few months later, she tells me to call him again. And it's like, you didn't send me his number. How am I? You keep telling me to call him.
In her defense, you said you didn't want to talk to that man.
At first. And then we ran into him one time, and he was talking about how he actually could help me. And I actually did end up calling him one time. And that was when I was moving out here. But I was calling him on her phone. That was back when I was still at home. So since I moved here, she's called me like 4 different times, told me to call him, and I'm like, you need to send me his number, or just tell me his number, or whatever. And she's just like,
if you used her phone to call him, why didn't you just get the number then? I was curious.
what was the thing about that? The same defense that I use when she's like, oh, why don't you remember to ask for his number? I'm like, because I'm not the one saying that I should be the one to call him. You're the one that keeps telling me I should call him. You should send me his number.
In her defense, though, you are the one who needs a job.
I'm the one who needs a job. But still, most of the women has a job right now. Oh, I've seen that before. That shit was crazy.
I didn't even notice that.
That was the first thing I saw because I was like, bloop, bloop. What the fuck was that? It's like, oh, my man's arm. But that's how I know it's fake because how the arm looked when it plops down.
They're like shakes.
You're like, that's fake.
Like,
Watch it, real as fuck. This video, a guy getting like his arm.
Yeah, because like from how like in the video, like how it looks, like it hits him here, but it shows like this much of his arm. It was like,
Well, and before the tire even gets to him, it goes like this. Like you see it fly off before it even hits, and it goes in the wrong direction. So you all fucked up on that one right there.
And the crazy thing is, like, her hand was out too,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally like went straight through. It's like,
all right, no, she would have took like and went flying that way for where she was. I was like, yeah, the whole thing is just. Because something had to have happened, which means the noise would have drew your attention that way, because that tire is on fire, which means there had to have been an explosion.
How did that happen? It even just wasn't. It just
Maybe it was a gasoline fire, rolled through the gasoline, caught on fire.
was he pumping it up with gas instead of with fucking. The fuck?
I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to give you. Maybe it was on a truck that was carrying
Something flammable.
kerosene with like lacquer and some other flammable bullshit.
Why would a truck carry multiple flammable things?
Because white people are stupid. I don't know how to tell you these things.
You got a gas trailer, and then hitched to the back again. You have another like a fucking natural gas thing. Maybe some.
I mean, that's basically, wasn't that how?
Matches.
What was that movie? Unstoppable. Wasn't it like they had like something explosive, and they
Chug
had
it,
like
shoot.
something that was highly toxic and something else, all in the same train?
The Chrysler building.
Yeah.
And now we have reporter BBJ on the scene. BBJ, y'all white people are fucking stupid. Like, what was this Trump carrying?
No, that's why I can't be a news reporter. I will be the one.
You'd be that guy after the thing flew in his mouth. Oh shit! God damn!
Country ass town.
I'm going home.
No, I seriously be the one who will be like, yo, you fucking stupid. I mean,
that would be.
You'd be that lady. The lady who she was watching this. Okay, she was watching a house that was on fire. She walks up to the dude whose like house it was, and she's sitting there like trying to be a news reporter on Facebook Live or some shit like that. She ended up exposing that this dude burned down his own house.
nah,
And they actually like caught him because of her.
Nah, he straight up just said it. Nah, I did it.
That shit was hilarious.
I need the insurance money.
She was recording it.
You not see the fucking camera?
Oh my
You know
god.
what? That's what you gotta do skits with Joe as a reporter.
And then they fucking
You gotta do like real news, but have Joe's reporting style. It'd be hilarious.
Oh, you know what? That's a good segue. Speaking of news, let me bring this up because I feel like I have to.
Finally paying child support.
Yeah, apparently.
wow.
And I'm not saying that I hate Jason Momoa. He looked like a dude that I could go get a beer with. He looked like a cool dude.
Guys, to give each other
But why
piggyback
in the
rides.
hell are people saying that he's out here abusing animals because he fed a bear a cookie through with his mouth? Which is how you get a bear to...
Yeah.
How is that abuse?
Because they're forcing that bear to be really
That's your
starving.
question? My question is, wait, is he mama birding the bear? Or is he have it on his mouth and then
No. In order for a bear... This is what they do in order for you to get when you have bears in movies and it's them training for them to be used to you. You have like a treat or whatever, you put it in your mouth and you allow for them to come up and take it from you. That way they're getting your scent and that's them showing that they actually trust
somebody
you.
Did it with Twizzler, I think.
It's like
Yeah, and so that's how they say like they trust you because if they come up and do that, then you're fine to be around them.
like they do realize that, well, whoever said that, they do realize like bears like eat pretty much anything really.
Yeah, they don't have like a chocolate thing, do they?
Well, no, it's not that. They're saying they're putting that bear through starving manipulations and all this other stuff, and that's the only reason why that bear would even go up and take the PETA. This is PETA.
Say, like,
if it was starving, it would bit its face off.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
Like in that movie Face Off.
But no, see, they're thinking what people do in circuses, which, yeah, I fully am for y'all, getting rid of all circuses, but no, you don't want to do that because white people get like a lot of money from that shit. But they do that shit. They beat animals, they starve them to force them to listen to them. They do a lot of old tactics in order to train them.
Like with Topsy.
Yeah. They do a lot of old school training because that's how they knew how to break an animal. But there are other more humane ways for doing that. And that's what Jason Momoa was doing. That's what that whole thing was. It was not him
to break it.
You gotta
little things in my way.
Because that's what domesticating is. You're breaking the animal to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why
the most humane way to do it is conquerors hockey.
We were talking about having foxes as pets, and their foxes are not domesticated, and they will just eat you for no reason. So that's like they're terrible pets to like have. Some people can like, but it's like they're not domesticated as like dogs and stuff like that, and they have been known to just eat people for no reason. Like in their sleep, you just wake up and you're just like, why is my hand wet? And I can't feel my pinky. You look down, you're like, ah!
You got those people with pumas and stuff.
Yeah. I remember that they're oh, go ahead.
Either you have an apex predator as a pet, or that was an awesome Wednesday night.
Or Tuesday night if it's Ronaldo.
Oh my God. We're not talking about him until he gets here.
I mean, he's here in spirit.
Oh, well, I mean,
there's some weird glasses floating around somewhere.
Wow. I just thought it was just ridiculous that they're trying to cancel culture Jason Momoa for this bullshit. It's first of all, y'all going after the wrong people if this is the case.
Are you surprised though? PETA has been PETA invented reaching. They will go so far to be like, oh, that person's a terrible person for having an animal. Why? That dog is in his house and he tells it what to do and this, that, and the third. It's like, I feed him and take care of him and bring him to the vet and make sure that he doesn't die. So
And how many
other crazy news? Like I was watching a video, a Markiplier video last night.
Was he eating more ice cream with a shovel?
It was a tactical shovel, but no.
Get that right.
Details.
Not gonna lie, that legit made me want to buy a tactical shovel.
You haven't bought one. Fuck you! Don't judge me. You don't care about the safety of this house.
I have swords,
but it's not a shovel.
You know what? I'll get a shovel.
Good.
A tactical shovel.
And some ice cream.
Those will protect you from demons.
Maybe not the ice cream, but that's true. But the video I was watching last night, Markiplier had did like a live stream video where it was called Heist with Markiplier. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was at work, but I wanted to watch it. Probably still could, but it's not like the whole live thing anymore. But people that were watching it live stream, a good percentage of them, because YouTube for some fucking reason disabled multiple accounts for for just doing what Markiplier wanted to do, which is so he had two, I think he said two colors, a red sticker and a blue sticker. So you to choose what you want him to do. Oh. And it was spam this if you want to do this, or spam this.
Oh, almost like the Pokemon thing, like they were doing on Twitch, where you're you choose which thing the person does.
Yeah, that's what he was doing, and for the YouTube channel. And he said I think an hour or something, halfway into the his live stream, he noticed that there was YouTube saying don't spam or your account's gonna get disabled or whatever. Right. So he was I guess letting people know to not spam, just I guess and don't. But yeah, but a lot of people got their accounts disabled, and when they went to fight against it, their appeal got declined. Yeah, and it's I saw because he showed a lot of people he of course blocked out the important information and but it showed appeal denied. It's
YouTube
over, and it was I think a heart sticker or something like that, or a green heart. It was, but
YouTube's crazy.
So what is probably the reason because of that is dealing with YouTube Live. Kids out here being stupid. And there was a few cases of underage kids, like 15 to 16-year-olds, stripping and exposing themselves on YouTube Live, and they were doing stuff like that, saying, "Do this, spam this, and I'll do whatever." And that's probably the reason why, because now with YouTube, if a few people do anything stupid like that, everyone's going to pay the price.
I mean,
I know it's
every
stupid.
rule that's ever existed.
They go overboard with it, which I understand. When you got kids out here doing stupid shit like that, which why the fuck would you do that anyway?
Raise your kids better.
That's probably what the reason was.
It's not, and it wasn't just you. For a lot of people, it wasn't just their YouTube that got disabled or whatever.
Their Google account.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's because Google owns YouTube, so that's all connected.
Yeah.
They forced them to switch all that stuff over a year and a half ago. Actually, 2 years, I want to say, is when all that switched over. So everything just...
It might have been longer than that, because I think when we made our account 3 years ago, I think I had to...
Was it 3 years?
Possibly. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, last time I remember, they said they were putting in the huge plans for it in late 2015. Mm-hmm. So it could have been...
Because I know it was a huge issue for a lot of people when they did the switch over with all that stuff. But I think that might be the reason why that they were immediately trying to stop all that stuff when it comes to that.
Don't take it with excuses. That's something completely...
Well, that's the same reason why Tumblr doesn't have porn anymore. It's because like people they
Well,
found too many people with child porn and all that other shit. It's just like fucking.
Plus, Yahoo was looking to buy it out, so they wanted to make it as presentable as possible.
Which did anybody even buy it?
I believe Yahoo still did.
Because I know other companies expressed the idea of wanting to buy it and then put it back to the way it was before. So it's like
Pornhub being the number one.
Yes, that's who it was. I was like, was it Twitter? I'm like, nah, Twitter wouldn't do some shit like that.
I need food. I'm probably gonna head out, because I gotta get my hair braided.
Gotta get your hair did.
Yeah, gotta get my hair did.
What are you gonna do this time?
Braids.
Ooh. You can get the Jerry braids again. You can get the Jerry braids again.
Jerry braids. What is that?
Gerald.
Remember? See, I knew who you're talking about, but why you always say Jerry, not Gerald? Because I think he'll
That's
get
what everybody. That's what everybody calls him.
Who's everybody?
Everybody who plays
White
Witcher.
people? Don't be like white people.
Have you
Be like,
played
be
Witcher?
like
White
black
people.
people.
It's not just.
He's never played Witcher.
Yeah, Witcher's in what's the name? It's in Monster Hunter.
And I was supposed to know that's what you were talking about?
Because I called him Jerry in front of you like 1,000,001 times. Yeah. I even
sure
said that. Yes.
See,
definitely.
no,
Especially
your
when you came up in
same
here with his
argument?
hair.
The same argument you have for me. We talking about the woman who's Cersei and Game of Thrones.
Negro, that is. Don't put your problems on Shadow. This nigga, I said Cersei once. I say Lena Headey all the fucking time.
See, look,
and then the one time, I actually say Cersei because I know you'll remember. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is Cersei? I'm like, nigga, really? Forgot the whole bitch now.
But you're saying multiple names, so it's like, how am I supposed to know you're talking about the same person?
Negro, I said the name you should know. Because you watched the show. And you hate that
you mean
bitch.
like when I
say,
said your Amazon girl?
I hate Cersei.
You mean like when I said you ain't gonna call out your Amazon girl, you didn't know what I was talking about?
What Amazon girl? What are you talking about?
Mackenzie.
You talking about Mackenzie Bezos? The one who doesn't have anything to do with Amazon other than the fact that she was married to the guy who's the CEO? The one who currently has nothing to do with Amazon?
Where did she get all her money from?
Husband.
And where did he get all his money from?
Yes, Amazon, but it's not necessarily. She got the money from Amazon.
You just hear how he's trying to
She doesn't get the money from Amazon. She got the money from him.
Which came from Amazon.
Okay, so I guess that means all of my money came through drug dealers and
Basically.
whatever this.
I mean, if you test your money, it'll probably have drugs on it. So
Yeah.
I think that's with most
my money. Most of my money is not physical, except for the money I get from Steven, which would technically be like from a drug dealer.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Technically, it's not your money. It's just your turn to spend it.
yeah, because they won't let you make your own money because it's illegal. Fuck that.
Dude, why won't you let me destabilize the economy? Why? Fucking.
it'll be better off.
Will it be great? It's fucking funny thing is it won't, but okay. Nah, yeah. Anyway.
No, all you have to do is just make a bunch of 5s and 10s. You'll be fine. Because no one ever tests those. 20s, technically everyone's supposed to be testing 20s because that is the most counterfeited bill out there. But you don't do that. You only test 100s and 50s, which I
very stupid.
fucking hate $100 bills and $50 bills so much.
Basically, if you're not like going to a bank or like a high level institute, there's no reason to even have a $100 bill. Because you can't even use it most places. You go to McDonald's with a $100 bill, be like, you basically poor, nigga. Fuck out.
No, it's because people go to fucking McDonald's like, let me get that 89-cent ice cream cone. Here's a $100 bill.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible.
I
love it.
I almost got fired from Tim Hortons because someone asked to buy a donut, which is 89 cents, and gave me a $100 bill. And this was at 7 in the morning, and I really said, "Are you fucking serious?"
What was Bill Gates doing at your Tim Hortons?
Actually,
wait. Bill Gates
it was one of those moments where it's like I didn't mean to say, "Are you fucking serious?" out loud.
When your inner voice becomes
If
your
I
outer
was your
voice.
manager, I would let that shit slide. I'm like, nah, you was right. That nigga was tripping.
And I had to explain, and I was very apologetic, but it was like right in front of my manager, and I was like, "Listen, you cannot give me $100 bill for a donut that's 89 cents. It's not going to happen. One, I don't have the money to change it. Two, it's very rude to do because then I won't have change for anybody else. Three, if you don't have a bill, take the fucking donut and get out of the store because I don't even care at this point. Why? Go to a fucking bank."
How did your manager feel about that? He's take this donut for free.
She was more so pissed about the fact that I cussed somebody out.
Oh, she was upset about that. That's funny.
It was the fact that I cussed someone out, weighed into the fact that I brought in the most customers, and a lot of people know me, so it's very much
reputation.
Yeah, it's like I kind of made the store like big reputation for. Oh, everyone's goofy in there.
It's like, are you fucking up? You just made Joe mad. Everybody out.
Basically.
I mean, you know what happened in the lunchroom? I wasn't there, but I heard the story.
I haven't. Please enlighten this.
Yo, you can explain the story because I wasn't there. I've heard it from I didn't even hear it from Joe originally. I heard it from someone else, and then I heard it from Joe later on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are we? Because I stopped paying attention to y'all niggas a second ago. Keep going with the story.
Wow.
Nothing. I was just thinking about how fucked up that is. Nothing.
Well, how fucked up what is?
Wouldn't you like to know, nigga?
See, this bullshit that he always do. Or he's about to say something, he's like, nah, never mind, it's too mean. I can't say it. Can't put it out there in the ether. It's like, first of all, you already did because you thought it. So you're already a horrible individual. Mm-hmm. You might as well just say it.
Both of you shut the fuck up. Both of you shut the fuck up. You're both horrible individuals. Don't you even start.
Oh,
I'm pointing at this nigga.
Oh, am I? Because according to you, I'm the nicest person around.
And this motherfucker. Oh, on the outside. I already explained to you your shirt. On the inside is as black as that shirt. The white words are all the nice things.
Wait. Seriously? That would still mean I'm a good person for the fact that I wouldn't ever let that out. Nothing. You try to say.
No.
Can't stand this fool sometimes.
Wow.
I mean, can't.
Now, you know I'm a great person. I'm a positive influence on your life.
I couldn't even fucking breathe all the way in after you said that. I couldn't even do it.
I mean, according to people we know, I'm a good influence on you.
Who the fuck said that?
Yep, I'm a very nice person.
No.
Very nice person according to people we know.
Because whenever he's around, you try very hard not to be
extra
fucked up individual.
Because he's already filling the quota. The world doesn't need that much.
Yeah.
Whenever your mom calls, like, oh, Carl's such a nice person. Because I am a nice person.
Because my mom doesn't know anybody.
To explain to you what happened, this was back at Wilson.
Of course. You know, the match that always likes the powder keg.
Wilson!
And, of course, it was my lunchtime, but I had the fucktards all in my lunch. You know, I'm not going to name names. Tane and Q Sean on the motherfuckers. Fuck y'all. Punk ass bitches. What up, though?
Put me on your album.
Right?
Oh, your album.
But then, you know, I was the popular, unpopular person. Not like Ahmed status unpopular, but
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Yeah, no, everyone fucking hated that.
Even I know.
Was it you in Shadow or Matt in Shadow with Snowballs?
Oh, that was everybody.
Yeah, the men tried to leave. They surrounded the building. He wouldn't get on that building. They snowballed that man in.
I don't know who the one who caught him, but they caught him square in the face with one of those snowballs. I think it might have been Matt.
Wait, what?
When everyone attacked Ahmed outside the school with snowballs.
Oh shit! What?
Who
was this?
You don't remember this?
See, I wasn't there. I was told about it later on.
I don't remember that at
Shadow
all.
doesn't do things like that because Shadow's a good kid.
You heard that? You heard that?
That little ghetto right there. Set it off. But yeah, they surrounded that man and just,
Bruh.
But yeah, I had all of them down there, and this was one of them days where it's like I needed to be left alone, and I let it well known at the beginning of that day to leave me the fuck alone. And the whole day, here they come, and it's like I have them in every one of my classes too, and it's like I told y'all, don't, just don't. And I had the last lunch period too, and they kept messing, and I just yelled at them, and the whole lunchroom got silent for like the next 10 minutes. I had everyone on hush mode, and all you see is Richards come through like, Joe, you good, man? Just leave me alone. Because this guy, I ain't your time. I just leave me alone. Everyone tiptoeing slowly. Everyone started to leave the area. It's like I told y'all to leave me alone. The fuck you going to try to keep poking the bear after the bear just said
What?
Goldfish by feet.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't want to touch.
you know.
I didn't want to touch him.
you know.
Last night because I was still eating goldfish and I didn't want to touch stuff on the floor.
Why are you eating goldfish, man? Peter didn't come after you with your nasty man. Can't sit next to you no more.
But isn't that the same?
But you ain't moving,
I just did move.
Negro.
He listened lazily, so what?
But isn't that the
You
same?
know what the fuck I meant.
Never go to a zoo, poke a lion in a cage, and then beg for it not to bite you afterwards? Because the motherfucker is stupid enough to poke the lion, chances are it's stupid enough to end up in the cage with it.
It's just, I don't understand why when you tell someone, like, listen, it's not the day, just, leave me be.
Depending on how much of a friend I am to a person, even when they say stuff like that, I'll just be like, ooh.
I mean, but
Karma in effect right now.
you've had your troubles in high school though with applesauce.
Yeah.
Applesauce?
Yeah, fuck that kid. You're trying to friend request me 15 years later like I ain't forget about it. Yeah, I ain't forgot about it.
Yeah, they don't know the story. You gotta enlighten them.
Fuck that.
Nah. Tell us this. Enlighten us on this tale of
See
yours.
what I gotta deal with all the damn time. He'll say something like that, and then like,
Nigga, I didn't even say that. What the fuck are you talking about? He's the one that introduced it. Again, terrible. Because he introduced it, just telling people my business, telling the business to the streets.
That's how they get to know you.
Fuck that. They don't need to know me.
So he's
See,
trying.
that's what I
So
say,
he's
work.
trying to be. He's trying to be a
Oh,
good friend
look
and bring
at
us
this nigga trying
together.
to spin it.
He's trying to be a good friend and bring us together, and you're fighting against it.
Trying to show that you guys have similarities
I
you
already
can bond
know.
over the trials and tribulations you experienced in high school.
Person, goddamn it, get it out of here with that shit. I don't need that
Bonding
shit.
over trials and tribulations experiences in high school.
Okay, fine. I'll tell a stupid ass story. Whatever. Back in 9th grade, I had.
I don't want to hear it no more.
You gonna listen to it now? You gonna listen to it? I had dreads.
Look
School
like
was
Keenan.
white people, huh?
So you look like Keenan.
I don't know about that. My dress wasn't that tight. My mom did. Anyway, I was in 9th grade. This asshole motherfucker, after we get out of Spanish class, on our way to walk to get our stuff out of lockers so we can go to the fucking buses, this motherfucker go take some applesauce and pour it in my goddamn dreads. So you know what I did? I ran after that motherfucker. He tried to run out the classroom. There was a hall full of white people. I parted the white sea with my bare hands. Threw every white person to the side. Somehow still don't even know how the fuck that happened. I only touched 2 people and everybody flew. Ran straight at him. I was this close to punch him in the fucking face till his Indian teacher got in the way. She's like, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. If you do that, I'll get you on this side of there. She doesn't know what's happening. All she sees is a black man about to punch the shit out of this little white kid. So she stopped it. I was punching her in the face. Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Fuck that shit.
Golly.
And that's how you learned your calling. Throwing people around.
Throwing white people around, yes. Man, fuck that guy. Anyway,
I'm trying to envision Justin with dreads, and I just still have a hard time because every time I do, for some reason, I think of Sam.
he's seen it.
Yo, Sam actually looks cool with dreads.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you saying I wouldn't? Shit. It's different though.
like-
Sam's handsome. He's not a mole person.
Did you see that as like a negative?
Literally
It's okay,
that.
it's fine, Shadow. You just think I'm ugly.
If I said that anytime I do, I think of Sam, and he says Sam's dreads are cool as shit, that would mean you look cool as shit too.
Now you know
No,
who
he
got
said
some
Sam
good
would
braids.
actually look cool.
He did say actually, but
Yeah.
you know who got some good braids? The
It was one point.
All
where
I've
Sam
ever
basically, like,
said about you, Shadow, is that you're handsome and you have nice sideburns, and you just return the serve into my face. It's fine. Okay, I still respect you.
so when Shadow powers up, does his sideburns glow?
Probably. That'd be dope.
Like Counters tattoos and Young Justice with the sideburns?
Are you trying to say that he's an admiral in Monster Hunter?
I mean, his hair is kind of doing the star thing right now. He is always saying
But
that
you know
too.
who got some crispy braids? Speaking of Monster Hunter, you know the is he a Wyverian? The dude with that
yeah,
long staff.
Wyverian.
Yo,
Yeah.
his braids are mad crispy.
Yeah,
Mad
crispy.
But you can't get that hairstyle in the fucking game, and it pisses me
Where-
off.
Because Japan doesn't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a shit about us with character creation shit for JRPGs.
Because that was the
Got
first
it.
thing I was going to go for. Like, oh, let's say, all right, they got an afro. Let's see if they got the braids. No. Then I see this
Of course they have the
motherfucker-
afro, because they're like, oh, baby, afros. Huh?
Afro Luffy.
They respect afros. They don't respect
Then I
black
see this motherfucker come out of nowhere with the crispiest
He
of
had
crispiest.
and his facial hair is all trimming it. Like, yo, yeah.
I was
They
like,
knew what
yo,
they was doing.
fuck y'all, first of all.
Capcom knew what they was doing.
Just going to put this out there, but like, yeah, you can't have this though. Yeah, it's like, man.
Ridiculous.
Admiral looking like the Raikage.
Basically. Kinda, yeah.
He'd be out there doing random shit. Like, I just want to see him punch a monster in the face.
You know what I want to see? You know how sometimes in the anime how they'll have like the monster and they'll have the mad big dude just grapple the monster? I want to see him do that with the Rajang. Just him and the Rajang just...
He's basically a human version of Rajang.
It'd be great.
It's just, I mean, because the first cutscene with Rajang is with him, apparently, and
Like, Rajang, my old friend.
Actually, wait. That reminds me. The black chick has braids. She has the braids on one side and the hair just out.
Yeah, that hairstyle is available.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You change that shit immediately.
I wouldn't I have a female character. Actually, the hairstyles are universal for
Yeah.
some reason. Usually,
Because
Because they
Games
respect your agency, but they just don't respect black people.
I think it's like with most games, like females will have like a certain hairstyle, males will have a certain hairstyle.
Yeah.
And
That reminds me
Kind
of
of like in Fallout when you make your character, I think they separate it based on gender.
two things real quick while I remember. There was this dude who was he was a game designer, and he had to basically design a character creator, not the whole thing, but just the options and everything. And he got funny about it.
You're saying this like this is the person we know, and I think I know who it is.
So he got funny about it. So when he made it so that depending on if you pick male or female, you only got certain classes. So you pick female and warriors. Like, females can't be warriors. You're a healer. It was mad funny.
damn.
That's fucked up. Don't say their name.
I'm not.
Don't put them out there like that.
But
for
and
the
then
wolves to get.
the thing about
It
Fallout.
was Eric Button.
No.
No.
It didn't have anything to do with fur, so it couldn't have been Eric.
True. Very true. But when you said Fallout, I heard a rumor that they're doing. They got court ordered to give mandatory refunds because of what was it?
How terrible 76 is?
It was about false advertising or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
so it was
False
court ordered
advertising.
refunds.
So it's
That's
almost
what I
like,
heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
It's almost like when you send a person a bag that's supposed to look like the bag in the picture when you pre-order shit, and then they get something completely fucking different and shitty. It's almost like they should get their money back or get the bag you told them they were going to get.
I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard though.
Speaking of
They're
games,
fucking up so bad.
Speaking of games, me and you, Joe, we have to get Modern Warfare.
I'm gonna get Modern Warfare because I've been itching to fuck people up.
You gonna knife people from across the map again?
No, that's this one.
Oh, that was that one?
That was me.
Just
Yeah, that was him with the knife.
A few times.
I'm just a dick with a sniper who I'm gonna stay in one area, but I'm gonna make you go to where I was before.
We gotta
catch me trying to get me there.
We gotta bring it back to being the 2-man army.
I know y'all gonna have to bring.
I wonder if my skills are still up there.
You have to bring Maya in on it. You know she be getting ruthless.
Maya is just
Yo, if we get like the gang back together, just for like Call of Duty, we'd be unstoppable.
Maya just didn't die. It was just she get bullshit kills and you can't fucking kill her. It's like, yo, what the fuck?
Some people will say that's
gunning her down.
A master.
Oh, I'm almost dead. Throw this grenade. The ting ting ting. Game winning kill. Fuck! Oh, that shit. Oh, that pissed me off so fucking much. And they played that shit over. Couldn't stand it. But you think if I were to put that video in the group, would you hear Eric on the other side of the city go, "Ah!"
What video? Oh. Yes. Yup, most definitely. Bruh.
They tried to kill that woman.
Trying to how? Like you can see. Just.
I mean, to me, it was just that one hit kill thing that just went off.
Plus, there was like the electricity afterwards.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
You should have died.
Dead. Yeah.
She did. I don't care. She did.
Yeah.
You crazy, Jesus? You crazy?
My second wife always told me.
Another little weird thing out there in the world that I think is a good thing that I'm a little upset that America wasn't the first one to do.
Free healthcare.
Congrats to Italy for teaching climate change in their schools. It's not mandatory.
Oh wow! Now we still have too many people who think it's
It's a myth.
Yeah, like I saw a thing the other day. There's this one guy who I'm sorry, Josh, but your boy Mark is a little bit crazy. Sometimes he shares stuff. He's a friend of a friend, and sometimes he shares stuff on Facebook that's like wild shit that I just don't even.
Is he a flat earther?
No, but he's
Is he flat earth tangent?
I'm not about to. No, he's not a flat earther. He's not a flat earther. He's not like crazy. Well, crazy conspiracy. Not really crazy conspiracy. He's more. I'm just not gonna get into slapping adjectives on a person or whatever. But
let's call a spade a spade. Right?
He was call it nigga. Nah, he basically, he shared something the other day that was like, oh, everybody's giving this girl, Thornburg or whatever her name is, the little girl who keeps saying that climate change is real and the one that's
the one that had a picture with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Everybody, the news is all crazy about that, but what about this one lady who's a scientist who has proven that climate change is bullshit, and this, that, third has multiple books about it? I'm sitting there like, and what about all the other scientists who are the same level of qualification as this lady and are saying that it is true?
What about Bill Nye, the science guy?
That's the only one you need to listen to is him.
Like I don't. So
him and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Neil deGrasse Tyson while he was still talking about stuff. But anyway, that's one of those things where when people say stuff like that, I'm just like, I just keep going because I know it'll turn into a fight.
So in Italy, it's a prerequisite for climate change to be taught, but somehow in America, we can't have it as a prerequisite to have African American / African studies.
Funny enough, they're trying to get rid of it.
They've already shot it down.
I know Texas was the first one trying to get rid of it, even though it's fucking. I think it's stupid because they're trying to replace it with Texas history, or they're trying to keep Texas history in schools, like specifically to have the course for Texas history. That's it. We have U.S. history, global history, Texas history. It's fucking ridiculous.
Ethnocentricity at its best.
And they're trying to argue, because when you do U.S. history and global history,
you'll learn about that
that's
stuff.
all
You'll
of
learn
Black
about
history.
that stuff, but then it's only a fucking what? Like out of all the different things you learn about, maybe what they'll spend 2 classes on that shit. Even though it's
not even, because anytime you deal with anything that's global at all, you're dealing with the Europeans. And that's as far back as it's going to go. And you're not going to hear anything about
You're also dealing with like the rewritings of a lot of history, because it's people who are like, oh, well, this happened in our history. It's like, what about like the genocides and stuff? Fucking worry about that. that was us keeping our country the way we want it to be. It's like, should probably still talk about it though, because it's the reason why you are the way you are now, kind of.
It's how the saying goes: history is written by the winners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of funny. Recently I've been watching some stuff where it's about people who go back in time and try to rewrite the crap that happens in the future.
That shit almost never works.
Actually, in one of the shows, it worked, and in the other show, well, the one was a movie, and in that one it worked because it was basically there was in the movie the girl went back in time.
That was the one where her brother died, and then she had to go back in time. She went back in time with her friend.
No, not that. It's something more recent.
The 2 black kids.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but it's not that. It's something more recent. This girl went back in time because there are some people who are going to start a movement, and it's basically going to be like a race war.
Ooh.
So basically, she went back in time to get rid of those people, so that the race war wouldn't happen. So there's like 2 different flags, and cities are burning and all this stuff.
Sounds like it's just Terminator. The other race is just the fucking robots.
Yeah, so she went back in time to do that, but it's one of those things where like she goes back in time, but she only can go back under certain conditions because it's time travel shenanigans. They try to make it really grounded, so she only can go back during certain intervals.
Yeah, grounded with time travel. That's
so she only can time travel at certain intervals, but because she's killing people, cops are involved, and there's this one cop who keeps trying to catch her because every time she kills someone, he's always in the vicinity.
She has her captain smoker.
Pretty much.
It's like, I'll chase you to the ends of the earth.
And basically, like, him chasing her ruins his life.
Oh, that sucks.
Because it's like, because he realizes time travel, but it's like, dude.
You're at your kid's birthday, and it's just like, I need to leave.
Yeah.
Dad's never around.
It's like, dude, you're a detective. You're talking about time travel and stuff.
Oh, it ruins him like that. So he's like, seems crazy.
Yeah. And then he loses his job, and
he turns into Charlie Day doing the fucking.
He gets all like he gets all the scraggly hair and the facial hair.
God.
Yeah, it gets bad. But she succeeds. Then the other one is a TV show that's it only had 3 seasons. It got canceled, but I think they said the way it got canceled, it had an ending. And that one is about people going back in time to do essentially the same thing, except in the beginning it was more so like there's a meteor that's going to hit, so we're trying to do everything in the past to get them ready to stop that meteor. And season 1 they stopped the meteor, so now it's like, hey, we stopped the meteor, so now the future's changed. But now there's like 2 factions. Like before there was 1 faction, and that faction was like, hey, send people back in time to stop the meteor. Because the meteor didn't hit, so much of stuff happened, and now there's 2 factions that are fighting. So now mad people are getting sent back trying to wipe each other out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like there was that show Time. What was it called? Time Cops? Time Police? Remember there was the little kid from the orphanage that they got, and there was the robot and the big buff dude who wore like the white suit and had he almost kind of looked like Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
He had like the black Time Squad. Old school cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Time Wizard.
Yeah. This is decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching the last couple of days. It is interesting. And it's like one of those things like, oh, these people have to die and all this other stuff, and it's like, but we could save them, and it's like, but you're gonna mess with time, you're gonna mess with the future, and it's like, but you're already messing with the future. There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to talk to you about your boy Dr. Manhattan. So apparently, he views time, past, present, and future as like a singular thing because he doesn't. But he also apparently can't time travel. Apparently, his consciousness can be in the past, present, and future because he can see it all. But it's one of those things where he can't actually travel through time. So he can't be in the past. He's in the future because future's the future. He exists now, so he's going to exist in the future. But he can't go back in time. Also, if someone were to go back in time, he also can't really stop them because the tachyons would fuck up his view of them. He could stop them because right now, if he knows if a person's doing math, that's like, oh, I'm making a fucking time machine. I'm not going to say it out loud, but like he knows what they're doing. He could stop them then. But like if they happen to just be like, oh, I stepped into some shit and I just time traveled, he can't really stop them. And he can't see them. So... And apparently, well, so I remember you said something about him being possibly stronger than the one above all in the presence. Technically, him being stronger than the one above all or the presence would kind of be like your character CT being stronger than you. It's not possible because they're the person who's writing the story. So, so if they say
that's not true.
If they say he's pink, if you write that CT is pink, that nigga go and be pink. He could change it back, and you could just be like, it's pink again, and now it's permanent because you try to backslap it. Permanent. So it's literally whoever writes the story is considered the one above all. So that's why there was one story where the Fantastic Four actually come out of the comic book, and they meet Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby at that point was the one above all because he was the one writing that comic. So it's like you can't be stronger than the thing that's literally like writing out your fate and all that.
There was an episode like that in Spider-Man where he met Stan Lee.
Literally that. Yes, that's where that comes from. It's from that old school Fantastic Four thing, and that's why Animaniacs has done it. Like it's one of those things that's like a staple of like cartoons and American comics and all that kind of shit to like come out and meet your creator because it's basically like it's basically like you meeting God. There's only been a few times though in Marvel where someone's actually like gone in as the one above all to talk to a character, and the only character that has ever talked to the one above all and gotten like a personal visit from him was Spider-Man.
Later, gents.
Peace out.
So that would mean the strongest beings in any universe are the Animaniacs and Bugs Bunny.
I don't know how the fuck they actually managed to get out of their universes. So yeah, probably. Because they can leave their universe and be like, who was the animator for Animaniacs and Bugs Bunny? It was like they came out and they were like, yeah, so we're gonna make a couple changes here. or the episode. It's literally the episode where Daffy Duck is like shit keeps happening to him, and you come to find out Bugs Bunny's the one that's drawing it. It's like you could never fight. There's no fight there because it's like I can write you out of existence.
Isn't there a movie like that? Did it have was Tom Hanks in it or was it Jim Carrey? There was some movie where someone was writing a story.
Fucking it was Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
It was Will Ferrell and the lady, I don't know what her name is, but the lady something Thompson. Is it Emma Thompson? The lady who she plays O in Ben in Black? Yeah, her. She was writing, it was either her or Tilda Swinton. It was one of the two. I think it might have been Emma. And she was writing the story, and she just so happened to be writing the story of the exact person, like a person that existed. Yeah. So she kept writing shit that kept happening to him, and he's like, "Why is this happening?" And she's like, "Well, because like he finally does meet her, and she's like, you're crazy." And he's like, "Well, why do you keep making stuff happening like to your character or whatever?" He's like, she's like, "Oh, it's because like you need to have like struggle." And he's like, "No, I was having a regular life until you started fucking it up." Because just like shit would just happen for no reason. He just like he would hear her narrating his life, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then some shit would just happen out of nowhere, and it's just like,
yeah, I never seen the movie, but
it's great.
I'm about to watch that one.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I can't remember. That's up there with that came out around the same time as that one movie that Ricky Gervais had, where where you can't lie. The world's gonna end if we don't have sex right now. Can we just go to my apartment, or should we get like a hotel right now, or just like go to the bathroom? It's just like
I told something that wasn't true. What can I call that?
Yeah.
Untruth.
Untruth.
That movie is highly underrated. That's such a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
People won't watch it because Ricky Gervais.
I like the concept. Ricky Gervais can be funny, but when he's just freeballing, I don't really find him that funny. When he's just like,
I don't think anyone should be freeballing, but I mean, okay.
no, I mean like when he's just like
said.
being himself or whatever. So I guess you say I don't like it. I don't fucking know. I was trying to make it as nice as possible because I'm like, he can be funny. He's definitely like the conversations he has with Carl, definitely hilarious. But like, not you. Trust me, that's not the kind of Carl you want to be.
I'm back.
That's like excommunicate. That's like me excommunicating Justin Bieber from the Justins. Like it's not the kind of Justin you want in there with your crew. But yeah, I had forgotten about that with respect to the One Above All and the presence that they're basically avatars for like the writer. So it's like that's why they say like, oh, nothing's ever like. Even the One Above All has only ever been mentioned, like the One Above All and the Presence have only really been mentioned like a handful of times in the comics, and even seen a handful of times in the comics. Like One Above All maybe it's been actually seen like 6 or 7 times and mentioned maybe 17.
I believe one of the Marvel characters, I forgot his name, but he was able to cook up a mathematical equation that literally proved the presence of the One Above All. And then there was Thanos, who had a nice little one-on-one with the One Above All.
Yeah, because I remember there was
That before or after he teamed up with Void.
Who?
Thanos.
I believe the story you're talking about, there was a story where there was like an ancient Egyptian bullshit thing that happened. Then they had to try to find out why this thing was happening in present day or something like that, and something like that. And then you come to find out that the One Above All had basically made that problem so that they would go and find the heart of the universe, which is like, it's actually one of the only things that's better than the Infinity Gauntlet. Because when you meld with the heart of the universe, you just become the universe, as opposed to like the Infinity Gauntlet. As long as a smart person's using it, because we had that conversation before, as long as a smart person has it, you basically can do anything in the universe.
Plus it does have limits, because it has to be within that regulated universe. Because you
can't use it outside of the universe. Which is why that other universe version of Loki got fucked up, because he came here. He was basically Thor. It's like Loki, but he's like Thor. Like he's good and everything. And he had them on a harness, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm here because reasons or some shit." I think he got murked. That was a recent story too. That was Gamora was like kind of going evil because she had a part of her mind still in the mind gem or something like that. She was trying to get it out so she can meld with it or do something. I don't know. But yeah, basically, it's a character that's like, it's made to be like, no. Oh yeah, the heart of the universe thing. He the One Above All basically created that problem so that eventually Thanos would end up going to the heart of the universe, melding with it, and then realize that there's something wrong with the universe has this kind of cancer to it, and they don't know why it's happening. And then the One Above All tells him like, yeah, basically, people coming back to life is a problem. That reverses the flow of like the natural flow of things, and that's a problem. So no more of that. Like make sure that, and then that's what Thanos did. He like made sure that people can't like bring people back to life all the time and shit like that. Just kind of fucked up. Yeah. And my dude is dumb. It's one of those annoying things where they don't get descriptive enough when they say stuff about like, so when they say Dr. Manhattan created the universe, it's like,
no, that's him. Like that's why I say he has a god complex. He
does have a god complex.
It's very much.
He said he created the universe, but I'm like, me and Carl were having this conversation the other day. It's like transmuting, because he does have transmuting to like a dumb degree. It's like when you transmute something, there's different levels of doing it. Because it's like, are you transmuting like I turn this plastic into a sword, like what Full Metal does? He takes the ground. This used to be the sidewalk. It's now a spear, right? Or are you taking like, you throw a piece of bronze at me, I catch it, turn it into fucking, like, split it and turn it into, like, iron dagger, copper dagger, and throw it back at you. It's like, is it that? Are you separating shit out, like, at the atomic level? Are you the fart? You adding protons to air or to oxygen and pooping out gold? Or are you controlling quarks? With him, I think that he's taking stuff that's already there and just recreated everything.
Yeah, that's basically his power.
Yeah, I must say he's able to just recreate it, and it's even when you see him dealing with the comedian, you get a full sense of what he's capable of doing because him and the comedian are like close-ish.
Oh yeah, because they knew each other before.
Yeah, before he turned into that.
He's another character that would be dumb weak if he wasn't smart. Because if he wasn't what is he? Specific type of physicist. I think he was a nuclear physicist beforehand. If he wasn't that, he'd be weak as fuck.
But you see the fact that he said like, well, why didn't you just do this? You could have turned that gun into bubbles or into a butterfly if you wanted to. And
Thanos reference.
In the movie they made that bubble reference.
Yeah, I'm actually glad. Are you in Watchmen?
Yeah,
that must be a callback to because that was the first time Thanos got the Infinity Gauntlet, and that's why they put it in the Avengers movies. And people kept saying like, "Is this like a thing?" It's like, yes, it is. He turns someone's weapon that's like incredibly strong into like bubbles. And people were wondering like, why does he keep doing it though? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Just in case you missed it first time, do it again.
I mean, it's the most disrespectful thing you could do.
make your weapon into something that doesn't matter. Literally could never hurt me. He's like, your bubbles can't. I got soap in my eye.
But turn your Kamehameha wave into silly string.
That'd be interesting. That's like reverse annihilating because you're turning energy into matter.
But that's why he
fucking
Jess is like, oh, it's too much.
I'm
math.
trying to figure out how to do that, and it's like I don't know.
Now I'm just picturing Goku going in full on hard battle mode with Ed and Eddie sound effects. Like he just releases the Kamehameha wave, and all you hear is
Ultra Instinct. That'd be hilarious.
Oh no!
Just right over the fart cloud.
But I've been thinking hard with the whole could Dr. Manhattan beat Phoenix Force, and I'm still saying it's really going to come down to who gets tired of who first. Which Manhattan is very much if you attack me, because he doesn't have his humanity or anything, so he's just detached from everything.
He doesn't give a shit about like, oh, you're being a dick to me. It's like unless it actually hurts me, I'm not gonna do anything.
He's a nihilist.
I don't give a fuck. And even if it did hurt him, like he's got some mental what do they call it? They said it was a mental illness that literally like he's starting to not even care about himself. Really, like he created an entire universe. He created
to take out all the impurities of people.
He created. He says that, but then it was like it was a side effect of Flashpoint, I think, where he created like an alternate timeline. It wasn't an alternate universe; it was an alternate timeline within the same universe. Which I hate that DC doesn't go into their shit with that because they don't clearly explain the difference between alternate timelines, alternate universes, and alternate dimensions. But anyway, and Jack Kirby, Jack Kirby didn't make that better because then it's like because now you only have one dark side. There's only one dark side because he exists. His dimension exists outside of any of the universes, and it's kind of like the nether. What's it called? There's a universe that like the Fantastic Four knows about, and Reed Richards found. Richard Reed. He found it, and I think it's the Nether whatever, and I can't remember. Pretty much the Shadow Realm, and that is like one of the only dimensions in the Marvel like multiverse that's like there's only one, and there's doorways from each dimension into that one dimension. Or from each universe into that one dimension. Mm-hmm. But like Sidorak's dimension, Dormammu's dimension, there's a different one in each. Asgard, there's a different one in each universe.
Yeah.
But with that, there's like only one. And that's what they try to do with Darkseid. But it's weird because they say that he made another timeline, and apparently that became like Prime Earth or some shit like that. So I'm like, okay, so does that mean it became its own universe, or is it another timeline? And then it's like, well, it could be a pocket universe, and I'm like, okay, you're not helping. So, but apparently he just fucked with people's like entire lives in that just to see what would happen. Like he's just like, oh, this is a place where you can just kind of do whatever, so keep living. He's literally being Emma Thompson in that fucking. He's just like, oh, you're fucking living your life as a fucking steamroller lands on you. How you gonna deal with that, Chuck? Yeah. Fucking just for the sake of experiment. So I'm like, it's too confusing with DC. And then they also said that he's a high level dimensional being, so that means that he's not actually a god, but like, who's gonna argue? Because the majority of things he's the majority of things he's stronger than. Well, like two things may be stronger than him.
That's why I just say, he got a complex. Whenever anyone's at that point, I just say God complex.
I have a question for you guys. All three of you, actually. Have you guys watched that HBO Watchmen thing that's been going on?
No. There was a thing that they revealed recently about like something like the dildo or something that the lady had in her briefcase, which was hilarious because everybody's like, this chick always has this briefcase, I guess, and then she opens it and it's a big blue dildo. It's just like,
it's based off of Dr. Manhattan.
Yes, I guess. I don't it's like this fucking thing.
Does it
I kept hearing about that all over the website or all over the internet. I'm sitting there like,
why you dealing with phallic things, man?
It keeps fucking keeps
Google, popping up.
It keeps pushing it. Because people were like,
well,
why is it
search history wasn't so questionable?
No, it's the articles that before you even search anything, the articles that Google just puts up.
Because of search history. Anyway.
No, it's because everyone's clicking on it.
I have not seen anything for it.
Okay.
I heard that they were doing something. I haven't watched anything. They're not even a trailer for it.
They're like a couple episodes in.
Yeah, I haven't watched trailer for it because I don't usually watch trailers.
Because it's the lady who's the Silk Spectre. She used to be a cop. Like the story was like she used to be a. I'm sorry, I'm boring you. She used to be a superhero, and then she stopped, and now she's a cop that tries to crack down on costumed heroes. But at the same, so people, they're like, oh, she's not nostalgic or this and that and third. But then it's like at the same time, she literally like gets off to her nostalgia of like when she used to have that blue. That thing was big fuck too. That shit was like a fucking foot.
Justin was like, I got him, Pete.
Nigga, I wish. No, I don't. That's too big. And most girls, even some of the freaks I know are like.
Also, when you have to use the bathroom, it'll be all up in the toilet.
It's not always hard like that, but if it ever was,
no, if it's that long, it'll just into the water.
Yeah, if you're sitting down, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm
I can't because the cold. Imagine that happens here though, because the fucking bathroom's cold all the time. So you like the cold porcelain on my warm dick. Yo, I can't. I don't want to think about that. Somebody else talk about something.
So what I was going to ask is, do you feel Silver Surfer would come out on top going up against the Phoenix Force?
No, hell no. I'm still out on Dr. Manhattan coming out above that because literally it is the culmination of all the life energy, past, present, and future of every universe in the Marvel universe, and every universe there's 52 universes in DC, as long as they haven't like changed their roadmap and all their shit.
They will.
They probably will. They've changed it like 5 times already. DC used to be like Marvel. They used to have infinite universes, and then the Crisis event happened, wiped all of them away, and there was only one. And then New 52 happened, and they're like, "Oh, we're not alone now. There's 51 other universes." And then you learn in the Barbados shit with the Dark Knight's Metal,
Rebirth.
And Rebirth. Yeah, you learn about apparently there are other worlds, but they're the negative worlds, and they get eaten. But they're supposed to get eaten by by Barbados because he's actually like a dragon that sits near the World Forge or something like that. And if a world is not worthy, like if it doesn't have a Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, or if there's some fucked up shit with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, exactly, then he's supposed to eat that world and it's supposed to get consumed and then doesn't exist basically.
I was actually curious about that because I saw somebody that said that he was a dragon, but then they also say he was a bat god, and I'm like,
he's masquerading as a bat god to get followers on Earth so that he could get Batman.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out because I was like, this man's supposed to be a dragon, and there's already like a Egyptian bat god, so how is he also a bat god?
He's like, I'm a better one. Nah, but his whole plan was weird.
He looks
I'd
kind of
have
like
to watch.
Omega Batman. If you ever seen Omega Batman, he kind of looks like Omega Batman.
He does look like him, and I think that was on purpose because that whole story goes into Batman's bullshit from when he was disappeared, and Tim Drake or somebody had to pretend to be Batman. Because Darkseid hit him with the Omega beams. He should have died. He got sent back in the past, and then he keeps jumping forward in time until he gets back to our time. But when he went back in time, he left some shit that like made people think like, oh, like a bat god or whatever. And then once he left that time, then Barbados started using the bat god mythos to like trick people into believing in him, and that's where like you get secret societies like the Court of Owls and shit. And basically what he was trying to do is over the course of New 52 and where they are now, Rebirth or whatever, before Dark Knight's Metal, he had to expose Batman to like 4 different substances that were like weird otherworldly substances or some shit like that, and he basically did. One of them was in the Court of Owls like hideout or whatever. One of them was actually in the meteor that made Vandal Savage immortal, and you come to find out that actually that's the reason why the Joker keeps coming back, is because he keeps dipping himself in that shit. But it's the Lazarus Pit. Mm-hmm. It's the Lazarus Pit that Ra's uses. Only I think it was a purer version of it back in the day when it first got here. Sonny is annoying as fuck.
It's not in the room.
But then whenever he has to go to the bathroom or eat something, then he has to leave. That's probably what they mean when they say like he's annoying to keep him in there.
No, he has food in there.
Does he have food in their room?
Mm-hmm.
I thought his
they
food
have
was
a bowl in there.
Then why the fuck? I don't know. Anyway.
Finish the story.
Anyway, and that's how he was able to yank Batman out of like the timeline or whatever and use him for shit or whatever. I don't fucking know. And that whole story was. I have to go back through and watch it because my dude he goes through stories, and then when he's done going through the story, he makes it like a hours long run of just all the shit that happened in the story, and it's like that was a 5-hour run. I was sitting there for 5 hours just taking in shit, and some shit just went over my head. I was like, don't need it. But yeah, that whole thing is just crazy. Oh, that's just crazy.
Oh,
I got one for you. Phoenix Force versus Odin. Who would win? Trick Weston. They used to date.
I know, right? I was about to say, like, nah, they should probably just stop and start fucking.
That's how you
only one that just recently. I'm still trying to get.
Yeah, because back in the 10,000 BC event.
Yeah.
Gaia.
Are we positive? Because
it was what? It was Starbrand back in the day. It was Odin. It was Phoenix Force. It was Bast.
I'm surprised they had a Starbrand back then.
Yeah.
Starbrand is
It was the original Iron Fist.
Starbrand is literally like, you know how they always say that Superman is as strong as he needs to be? Starbrand has that flavor text on him in like his canon. Like he is literally as strong as he needs to be. He's fought Thor, the Hulk, and Hyperion at the same time. And he was a tiny, frail motherfucker. Like he was a nerd who was like dumb short, like really lanky, like really thin. Like he was just skin and bones, and he's like sitting there like getting smacked by Mjolnir and nothing's happening.
So he's almost like a Sentry, where a crippled Sentry beat the fuck out of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. But even
I was gonna say he's a Flashpoint Superman.
Yeah,
Flashpoint Superman.
Sentry's strong as fuck, man.
Sentry decides to fucking attack the Earth, and Starbrand is supposed to be that strong where he can just be like, like he's sitting there like stopping what's his name's his eye beam because Hyperion's basically Superman. He's literally the same story as Superman.
Yeah,
he's fucking just stopping him like this. He's just like he's holding the Hulk's hand, stopping the fucking eye beams with his bare hand, like not even just, and then his back is getting smacked by Mjolnir, and he's just sitting here like this, like this is stupid, because it literally like it's one of those things that goes into like a universe defense system that makes him as strong as he needs to be in order to fight whatever the hell's happening. That happened to him around the time where the multiverse was crumbling apart when they were doing Secret Wars, and that's why he was that brokenly strong. Because, like, the universes are all falling apart, so let's make you as strong as fucking possible. And then they didn't know what to do with him, so they put him in a Dyson sphere. which I learned what a Dyson sphere is, and holy shit. Basically a big ass like system of rings that we would put around a star to maximize the amount of energy that we could actually take from the star and use. Like the energy is just throwing out into the universe. You put it around it and it kind of just like absorbs that shit. Yarp.
So before I forget real quick, Teen Titans, the live one. I hear that Blackfire, or is it Blackstar? Starfire sister.
Blackfire.
Blackfire is supposed to be showing up, and Crypto is showed up. Apparently, a Crypto Superboy bodies some soldiers.
I think Black Star might be the name of or no, it's Night Star. Never mind. Night Star is the name of Dick Grayson and Starfire's child, I think.
Okay.
She just took like one word from each of her parents' names. Stupid as fuck. But
I wonder if he caught anything like space chlamydia.
If he caught space chlamydia, that means Damien has it too now.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that she used to be a slave and was highly experimented on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they cured her of it. Or maybe they gave it to her. We're not going to talk about that. Anyway.
Rick cured it.
I still can't believe they're calling him Rick. Fuck that.
Oh, speaking of DC, there's a new character. They made a new character that is a black chick. She's dope. Her name is Naomi. Apparently, she comes from an alternate universe, and she's living on the main Earth as just like a visitor or whatever. She's dumb and strong too. She's basically Superman with energy projection.
Of course, she's strong.
Captain Marvel.
Not quite Captain Marvel level. She can't go like full on Super Saiyan shit. I don't think. Well, we don't. They could get there. I don't know.
So she's Monica Rambeau. Pre-busted.
No, Monica Rambeau is. Oh, maybe. Monica Rambeau's a fucking monster. She can turn people's powers off. Like, if your power has anything to do with energy, it's like, nope. So Monica Rambeau versus Captain Marvel, she's going to lose. she's going to be like, no.
Anytime he does it, all I can think about is him talking
Paw
about...
Man?
Yeah.
Shake. I put Watchdog Man. Oh my god, that shit is so great. I can't wait to see that animated. I need to keep reading because I wanted to finish where One Punch Man... I don't know how far the second season goes, so I wanted to finish the manga first and then watch it, which is why I haven't watched it yet, even though the second season already done. And Nux was like almost ruining shit for me because he was just talking, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't listen to it. Because I want to see...
Spoilers!
Word.
But...
Yeah.
I just remember something because you're saying crazy ass, and I went to crazy ass white people because I watched Roland Martin.
Oh God, what happened?
But what? Not get this. This happened in California, and it wasn't white people. It was two Hispanic girls because they thought it'd be funny.
Surprised.
They thought it'd be funny for Halloween to dress up as KKK members.
Oh, I did hear about this. Some fuck shit.
And they almost got the shit beat out of them.
Good. It's a learning experience. Like, you don't touch a hot stove.
It's like...
There are some things you need to know you shouldn't do.
It's like, it would have been... Now, I know for damn sure if it was two white girls, they were about to get the shit beat out of them. But because they were Hispanic, they got lucky.
They let it slide?
Yeah, barely. Like, when they saw that it was two Hispanic women, like, the girls that were confronting them, I mean, there was a huge-ass crowd around them, but you could see that she was about to swing until she saw the fact that they were Hispanic.
They must have been, like... Because if they were Hispanic, like, from Spain, they might have got still. Like, nah, you white. It's like, oh, pero damn. Trying to speak Spanish, like, nah. You're not going to whistle out this shit. Whistle.
But I watched that whole video and I was like, yo, what? It's like, listen, touchy subject, and not even a black person should be out there doing some more stupid shit like that. And I agree with what someone says. Like, if you're not Dave Chappelle on a skit show, you leave the KKK shit alone.
I wanted to talk about something that kind of segue into that, but I can't. Because it's dealing with Hispanic people, but I can't because Arnaldo's not here. I need to bring this to the table when he's here to react to it. So anyway,
Then I was like that shit's wild. It's like, yo, how is Are their stupidity spreading to the other races?
I will say that it's probably a holdover of Hispanic people who tend to not want to admit that there's black in them. So therefore they try to go towards the white kid.
I mean,
kind of like how some Asian people do.
You put
not to that degree.
Put him in a room with Justin, he'll get some black in him.
Hi, Poppy.
Don't call me Pop. Don't.
You see how like, let me word this just right. Let me.
Don't call me Poppy unless you want my kids.
So all the Hispanic women out there who's listening to this,
Sofia Vergara talking to you.
I need you to come around.
See that slow blink?
Need you to come around and
I had to hold something back and want to rip my pants open like that, but like,
Rosario Dawson, he looking at you.
Justin Walker with the most ironic last name. No one can walk after they encounter him.
Wheelchair Walker. Oh yeah.
There was something about Rosario Dawson the other day though, and I can't remember what it was.
She's doing
Bad.
Oh, Bad. I don't know about Bad. I know
because I remember I was like, "Aren't you dating a guy who's like a potential presidential candidate? Like, isn't that bad?"
I thought Rosario Dawson was dating that one dude. The remember when the two dudes
Andre.
had changed their
Andre.
Yeah.
Eric Andre. No, she's dating Cory Booker now.
Oh, okay.
Who's a presidential candidate. Or I don't know how much of one he is now. I haven't checked.
Speaking of presidential people,
I saw Eric Andre walking through an RNS rally or whatever, the Republican National Convention. She was fucking. You're not Martin Luther King. He's like, what? He just wanted to get on the stage, and he was just like, I just want you to fuck my wife. He said to the guy who's sitting there screaming. It was bad funny. Oh my god! People were pushing him and shit. First they were pushing him away, and then he's like, no, let him come up on the stage. Let him come up on the stage. And they're like pushing him towards the stage. Now he's like, they just keep pushing me. I just want you to fuck my wife. No fucking problem. What were you saying?
I need to have like a beer with him, man. I feel like it would be so fun. No,
until he throws that beer at the fucking bartender, so he's tearing the bar.
I'm not being a bouncer. I don't give a shit.
He doesn't actually do that.
No, there's just a lot of shit going down with Trump's because his son was stupid, went on The View, tried to get in an argument with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, and got tore the motherfucker up.
Nigga.
And now apparently Donald Trump just got caught by stealing money from charities trying to pay off his debts.
That's the thing I told you about so remember I told you about Warren Buffett, how he doesn't actually have money? That's what he would do to send his money to his kids. So he's like, I'm not leaving you any money. I'm leaving you in charge of charities and whatnot, and this and the third, and certain things that you could just get money off of. So they'll potentially never be broke. So that's what these people do. They take money from places where it's like, you shouldn't be taking money from there, but you are also like if you're the main person behind it that deals with all the money and tells the money where to go. So if you wanted to take operating costs, $100,000 for this charity, I need $100,000 out of the charity money because of operating costs. It's not to buy me a new Lamborghini. Why would you think that? like they do shit like that, and it's fucking crazy.
But when you snatch like $2 million from it, though,
depends how big it is. If it's like the one where Kenzie and Kenzie and them, they're part of that initiative where they have the like billions of dollars. Like they're all billionaires who feel like they don't need their money, so they're just throwing it at people. They're giving away billions. $2 million in that would be like the drop in a bucket.
This is definitely like, yo, where the fuck is it? We
took money out of the United Negro College Fund. Like, ooh,
we have to now disband this whole charity because the money's gone. Type shit.
That's very stupid.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you take $1 out to get a cheeseburger. You don't fucking drain the whole fucking. I need to buy a pet lion.
It's so fucking.
The lion ate my pet flamingo.
But what reminded me of the whole Jr. thing with being on The View was the fact that he tried to accuse Joy Behar of dressing in blackface.
Has she ever?
She dressed up as an African American woman, and she had some makeup on to like basically like tan the skin
thing. Because I know
No.
Joy Behar. Okay.
No, it was for
Because even then, it's still fucked up. But it's like.
But she didn't put on like black makeup to make her skin black. She like tanned her skin.
Tanning is not the same.
And he was trying to call her out for that, and like Whoopi was like, "See, this is how stupid you
call
are."
out-
See, I'm black, so I know what blackface is.
I'm
but
black, son, and I'm black, son, and
I'm
I'm
blacker
black
than
and
black,
and
and
I'm
I'm
black,
black.
son. You gonna argue what black is? I mean, get the fuck off my stage.
He was trying so.
The view of you walking the fuck off the stage, bitch.
So fucking hard. Like if you want a good laugh, watch that.
I might need to see this now. Because that's like saying everybody on the Jersey Shore is fucking racist. Because they have spray tans that make them orange. Your dad is orange. Well, nobody's ever accused him of doing blackface.
I'm an honorary member of the Oompa Loompa Guild. Excuse me. Thank you very much.
What do you get when you fucking spray tan?
You get to lock orange paint on your hands.
What do you think of the one you call God? Is it his absence like? No.
This
I
is
don't like the
supernatural.
Oh my! There's a whole song that's like that's just that last part of the. I don't like the look of it. A whole rap song about that. I'm like, yo, that beat was actually good.
Actually, I could look it up for you because it's in one of my playlists.
That reminds me of when they did the Dr. Seuss Trap remix.
It was trap remixes of shit that's not trap.
It was nice. It was nice.
Have you heard the trap remix of the Caillou song? Fucking great. Somebody put some One Punch Man. I was like, that's fucking great. Yeah. So.
Yeah, see, it's. You want to load. If you want to fucking load.
I love how Shadow's not here for some fucking news that it could easily involve him. Overwatch 2 got announced.
Yeah.
I thought we talked about that.
Have we?
Yeah.
Did we?
I don't know if it was on the podcast, but I think
we talked about it outside the podcast, I think.
And as
or we might have
expected,
mentioned it
because
they turned Genji into a god-killing machine.
I mean, he's Genji. I mean, he's a cyber ninja with the dragon sword.
I wouldn't say God killing.
Oh.
I mean, he cut part of the hand off.
Do you want to hear what Blizzard said about why Overwatch 1 has been having problems recently? Apparently, Overwatch 2 is to blame for those problems.
What problems is Overwatch having now?
I mean, it's not totally because of the whole Hong Kong conspiracy.
There's a bunch of like bugs and stuff that people have been complaining about, and they're saying the reason that they haven't really been fixing it is because most of their devs are working on Overwatch 2 instead of working on instead of having all hands on deck working on Overwatch 1. So if you're experiencing any problems that are actually on their side that aren't on your side, it's because Overwatch 2 is coming. It's like, or you have everybody work out the bugs. I know it's not possible. Work out all the bugs and make it perfect. It's never possible.
Never do that.
Oh no! With one fix, you find two.
Yeah,
it's the name of the game.
Or one fix, you
Programming.
make two. Yeah, but
If you're really good like me, you fix one thing and then you break the whole software.
You're sitting there like, sitting there with the Muppet face.
The teacher comes over like, what happened? I put in a comma and
As
just
your
went black.
entire shit gets destroyed. Oh my god.
Put in a comma, everything's on auto delete now.
Fool! Fool! Freeze it and cut. No. That's I couldn't do programming. Somebody was asking me like, oh, why don't you do programming? You like puzzles and shit like that. I'm like, I want my paychecks on the line for that shit.
That's how it was for me when I was on programming in high school. It was fun because I was ahead of everybody, so a lot of times I didn't have to do any work. I just kind of did my own thing.
Then you get to college and it's like, this is no longer fun.
And then also it's like there's like 5 different ways to do the same thing. Your teacher wants you to do it this way, and it's like, I can do it these 3 ways. You want me to do it this one way? You need to make a compromise. No, you're doing it this way.
I was able to cheat. They said if I I can read an entire paragraph in binary code that I would just get an A. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of that nerd. I used to do binary shit all the fucking time.
See, for me, I was just ahead of everybody, so it got to the point where, like, halfway through the year, I wouldn't even get projects anymore. Everybody would use projects based off of my projects, so I would just, like, do other stuff.
Ooh.
Nice.
But for Overwatch, I'm not going to buy it because I don't think they're doing anything
Like good enough to be.
Yeah, so you say, oh,
actually,
Overwatch
Joe,
2,
I heard this
and
supposed
we're
to be
adding a character.
Joe, I heard they're adding in story mode,
Yeah, I did hear that too.
which is very new for Overwatch.
If they actually do, then I'll buy it.
Yeah, I heard it's supposed to be new map story mode, and I heard that if you have one and you go into two, your stuff transfers, and if you have one and don't have two, you can still play with people who have two. That's what I heard. I don't know how true any of that is, though.
I wonder if they'll have the problem though of like, because sometimes when the new game comes out, the old game gets so like left alone that they close the servers. So hopefully it's not going to be like a migration thing where they're ultimately expecting everyone to just move to
I think it depends because even
Titanfall.
Well, look at Modern Warfare. People still play their server. They're still out.
I was gonna say Halo got servers. Like servers.
Those are different though because those are the kind of shooters that are like, this is all we do. Mm-hmm. So they just keep all that shit up. Like,
so I know for a long time, Monster Hunter Tri servers were still up for like a long time.
They were up until 2000.
I was surprised that the servers was still up. Yeah, I was surprised that they still had servers up for that.
But it was only like 4 years though, because I was in my 4th year. The game came out at the end of our 1st year in college, and they closed the servers like April of my 4th year.
Yeah, but I was just surprised because of like there were like 2 or 3 other games that came. I mean, obviously those are handheld games, but just like
were they on handhelds by then? Or I thought they moved to Wii U first, because there was one on the Wii U, wasn't there? Arnaldo was the only one of us.
Yeah, but I was still connected with the Tri stuff though.
Was that?
Really? Yeah, because it was Tri and Tri Ultimate.
Oh,
so actually,
that's stupid.
Yeah, because like that's what they do with Monster Hunter. They have the main game, and then they have like the G rank types. Yeah, that's what Iceborne is.
You should be so happy that they don't really do that anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, it would basically be the entirety of the original game with a whole another set of stuff. But when you migrated over, all your stuff migrated over too. So you're basically like doing like 1-star quests, but they're like a higher tier 1-star quests with all the older gear, so you can just power through it for the first chunk of it.
When is Iceborne coming out for like PC?
It's supposed to be in 2020. I just don't know when.
I love when people are like, oh, PC, I can run this game like with all the I can make it look like the real fucking world. I was like, yeah, but you gotta wait like a fucking year almost to get the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
For Iceborne?
For like almost
computer games in general.
Computer games in general. When Monster Hunter first came out, the Monster Hunter came out in January of last year. They didn't get the computer game until like last September.
Yeah.
It's normally the other way around.
If it's a primarily computer game is the other way around. Yeah, but if it's primarily a console game,
it depends what company, because some companies know that most of the people who play their game play it like with all these mods, and they play it with all this, that, and third. It's made to be played like that, and then like consoles are like a secondary thing. Then yes, those are the ones that are like they'll come out like before consoles, but for the most part, computer games come out like way after.
Yeah,
because Pat is always constantly complaining about that shit. He's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'll stop everything I'm doing in Monster Hunter 9 months after and just start playing it on a computer. And he's like, but all of your stuff is like, I don't give a fuck. I can literally see the sweat on that fucking Rathalus's like balls or whatever.
like testicles.
see how it always goes right back
full circle.
Now I can't look at Linguini the same way again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I love pasta.
You know who else likes pasta?
White people.
Yes, certain white people, Italians. But actually, most of them do. Most of them have some kind of recipe for noodles and shit. Like most people around the world do. But the Italians made it first, and they made it better, and they made like the most of it.
So, I fully understand that in this group we have here, I'm probably the most alcoholic person here.
Currently here, or like
within the four of us.
Yes, because I've reformed.
At least
I
you were
drank
never
a lot in college, and now I don't.
At least you were never blackout menace levels.
Oh my god. Anyway,
but I was having a conversation at work with my friend Rob.
Right,
and
your conversations at work are always terrible.
How are they terrible?
You're always arguing with somebody else about some bullshit.
It's not. I argue with customers. I have a customer story for you that happened last night too. But that's we're gonna get to that a little bit later. But it was talking about how I have a weird stance when it comes to alcohol and how it should be
consumed.
Yeah, basically. Because I would rather have
I was about to say, are you a fan of butt chugging? You saying?
No, I would rather have the drinking age and the age for you to drive to be flipped. He just took over Devon's thing.
Wow, he starts like, yeah. Well, Steven would like that. You said the drinking age and the age you can drive to be flipped.
Yes.
Oh, I've heard you talk about this before.
You think you should be able to drink at 16 and drive at 21?
You can, you can get your permit at 16, but you can really only drive when you're 18.
I thought it's in this state at least it's.
Well, I'm saying 18
Let me not,
because
that'll reveal where we are possibly.
I'm saying 18 and 21. Honestly, I'll be fine. I'll be fine with the drinking age if it went back to 16 because that's what it used to be.
It used to be, yeah, and then they moved it up to 18 in like the 60s or something, and then the late 70s early 80s, somewhere around there, they moved it to 21.
Yeah. But only because I say that is because you have people out here driving and whatnot. It's like, oh yeah, fun, but then they get to the age where they can start drinking.
So you think you should be able to drink at 18?
Yeah. Only for people to get that early bullshit out of the system. Because that's what caused a lot of people to get in drunk driving accidents. It's like the 21st birthday, it's the first time doing anything, and then they drive home. And then...
Who do you know that's reckless enough to drive drunk?
You remember I used to be a bouncer.
No, I'm saying, who do you know that's reckless enough to drive drunk on their 21st birthday that hasn't already been drinking since before the 21st birthday? Because you're like, oh, I'm crazy as fuck and I'll drive while I'm drunk, but I'm gonna wait till I'm 21 to drink because I'm a good soul.
Okay, not everybody lives around crazy ass white people like you did growing up, but not everyone drinks early on.
I can't argue.
The only reason I'll disagree is because the majority of kids being in suburbs and shit in the middle of nowhere have literally nothing to do. They get to the opioids and all that other shit because first they start out drinking and then they're like, this ain't hitting. Then they start possibly selling drugs and
They put up a resistance.
Kids who drink the majority of kids I've known from suburbs. And kids I've talked to just through college, people I know through college and everything like that, they're like, no, yeah, I had my first beer at like 14. And it's not like I started drinking heavier until I was maybe like I became a social drinker when I was 16 or something like that. But then at 17, I was like, no, I drink a lot. Like pretty much whenever I want. Now, those are also the kids who like, they live in the suburbs and their parents don't even care. It's fucked up. But, like, there are a lot of kids like that.
Why are you laughing at that?
Because my mom cares about me, I think. Kid.
See, I was about to say something, but
what? I know, right? Yeah, she loves Carl more, apparently. Something like that. Probably.
Oh, I was going to say something terrible.
See? Where do you think
So he didn't. And he didn't laugh at people not having parents that don't care about them either.
See, I was gonna make a joke about him that has a similar thing, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Why, my dad?
See that's
Like they don't care, but they have.
Yeah, but those kids don't even have one parent that cares about them. I have one parent that also cares.
They have
That's
two
not true.
parents that pretend to care.
I have two parents. He just went to go get milk in the next town over and then just stayed there. No, I'm kidding. That's not even true.
No.
I mean,
but for the most part, the ones who do that aren't the ones that are getting into those drunk driving accidents, though. Where it comes down to
Usually,
that.
no.
But the ones who aren't.
I'm just saying, though, it's funny the idea of like.
Well, look how big of an issue it is here than it is somewhere like in Europe where the kids literally have wine and stuff with dinner. But see, they're smarter with it because they are associating drinking with eating food, while we're the dumbasses like, oh,
empty
I'm
stomach,
just going to drink on an empty stomach, and then, why am I so fucked
I
up?
honestly think we have too many. See, that the problem with a lot of the implementing shit that other countries do in this side and third is the problem of like America is too different with respect to the culture we already have. So implementing things like that would be like, yes, that could possibly be a way to help that shit. But at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to like parenting. Because at the end of the day, the fucking Europeans that are teaching their kids to drink responsibly and like you said, like pairing their fucking food with their drinks and stuff like that. That's something that happens in the household. There's too many fucked up households in America. So a rule like that is like, it might not, it might do some good.
But see, that's just it's more so a mentality for Americans and how I don't know how in the fuck we're the land of the free, but everyone out here is so fucking conservative about things, and they don't want to properly speak on stuff like that because oh no, it's taboo.
It's nice to have that. We should definitely be having more of those kind of conversations.
It's very much closed off. It's very closed off, and I don't understand it.
That's the problem with a lot of people is that they just don't talk about shit.
Yeah, but it's the
even
same
if you shoot
thing
it down, if you talk about it. It's
the same thing with drugs. I'm not an advocate for drugs. I don't do anything like that. But
I seen you drink coffee.
I have actually. I drink alcohol.
I know you love Dr. Pepper.
I mean,
that's your drug.
Alcohol is a drug, though.
Did you?
Let's
it is.
just be straight up with that. That is
technically
a drug.
anything you take that alters your body chemistry in any way is a drug.
I have a question
So
real
yes,
quick.
alcohol definitely.
That Papa had bought you that one day. Was that like a extra flavor of Dr. Pepper?
This nigga say pop. Forget where I am sometime. Hello.
Wasn't it like blue raspberry Dr. Pepper or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
I was gonna, because I don't remember if I ever
tried
asked you,
some.
if you liked it or not. Because I remember I was talking to somebody and they said they don't usually like alternate flavors of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's how I was like, I wonder if he'll give it a pass or not.
Because do you
the
like
only
do you like
the
cherry
first
Dr. Pepper?
time I haven't tried it. The first time the first time I ever tried a different variant of Dr. Pepper was a Dr. Pepper 10, and that shit had me in the toilet.
The only
I was vomiting for like the next hour.
I'll say that doesn't count. I don't count those like, oh, this is 0 carbs or this is pure cane sugar or this is like no caffeine. I don't really count those as alternate because it's not an alternate flavor. It's just like do you have this kind of problem in your life that you can still drink this? You know what I mean?
Well, no, that I didn't say like it was alternate flavor. I said like a different variant of it. And for me, like
those are like the X Factor variants. You need to go for the Y ones that are just straight flavor. Because the X Factor, like you try some shit that's like, oh, this is pure cane sugar. You're like,
this is a sugar without chemicals in it. Yay!
That tastes like shit.
Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew doesn't.
I can't stomach Mountain Dew anymore.
It kills your sperm count. So.
And
I would think most sodas do.
Makes your dick smaller?
Mm-hmm.
Since when? Oh, okay, because it's the overall thing. So it's messing with the hormones and the feedback for your endocrine system, all that shit. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So yeah, if you want a longer dong and you want kids.
I ran a study on that one actually.
You ran the study?
it came out saying that this is everything that it did, and I wanted to see if it was true. So I overloaded on a fuck ton of Mountain Dew.
Joe was like,
"Oh,
I
you
lost
used
an
yourself."
inch.
I thought me sitting here imagining Joe like grabbing niggas off the street and force feeding them and then looking at the dicks like, this is for science. It's not gay, it's for science.
No homo.
Don't worry about
it. Okay, I have to measure your dick, so no homo. You're just constantly saying no homo. Sure.
You think that kid said no homo? Remember in the video with the kid with the dildo? And
you
his
watching
brother?
videos with dudes with dildos and shit? Yo,
Negro, you showed me that! Don't you start! You showed me that!
Wait, what?
The kid with the... You talking about the kid
You remember the dude was interviewing people from his school? See?
The shit that was so far in his memory that we had to reach in his brain and rip it out because it was in the vault. Have you seen Adventure Time? Have you seen Adventure Time?
Away, we had to bring it back.
There's an episode in Adventure Time called The Vault.
First of
and
all,
it's literally every single
foremost.
bad thing that Finn has ever experienced in that his child brain is too like unprepared for, that he's just like putting that in the vault. It's literally all of his fears. And there's an episode called The Vault where they go into it.
First of all,
and that's what we just
I
did.
did not show that to you. We were watching videos on YouTube.
Who started the video?
I didn't know that you was gonna be in there.
Sounded like Seth Rogen.
Exactly, right?
God damn it!
Sounded like regret, but you still did it. You press play. It's on your
Because you didn't want to watch fucking car crash videos. I had to watch funny shit.
Motherfucker making me watch car crash videos knowing I'm a Lyft driver.
Making you a better driver.
Is it?
Yes!
Or filling me with anxiety.
Because now you can see what's about to happen before it happens. You be like, no, I don't trust that. Just like that. Black people with horror films. Nah, don't go in there. Nah, don't go in there. All the killers in that motherfucker.
When the black people are in the horror films, they still die first.
Because we learn from their mistakes.
We actually do learn from the mistakes of other fallen black people too. That's the fucked up thing. That you saw that episode of Blackish where he didn't go on the elevator with the little white girl. Yep. That was literally
like, son, I'm proud of you, Dad.
Like,
you proud of me?
This is one of the things I keep trying to explain to my white friends is that when you see black people doing a weird thing or like behaving in a certain way, I know not like nigga shit, like being in gangs and shit, but like certain other things, when we act certain ways like that, it's
an alley and you get like
it's a defense mechanism because something happened and we were taught by our parents, don't get caught like that. So literally that was a reference that in that episode in Blackish was a reference to an incident that actually happened where a black man had found a little white girl in an elevator and he was trying to help her find her parents, and they I can't remember if they killed him or if they did whatever, but they dragged his ass because they thought that he had kidnapped her, even though he was trying to help. That's the kind of shit that's like, okay, so if you see a white guy or if you see a black dude like not get an elevator with a little white girl, it's like that's exactly because something like that happened before.
I still think it's funny that white people think that Blackish is a racist show towards white people, though.
I don't know about that. I don't know why. They're represented in the show, so. Josh, I'm telling you this. The reason that I go out into the middle of nowhere with you, Sydney's parents, and the cows is because I trust you immensely. Because I trust you immensely, and I know, even though it's going against every single thing that my black senses are being like, yo, you're in the middle of nowhere, your cell phone doesn't work, and you're just by yourself. And we know that there are apparently like racists that live like somewhere in their town, KKK shit. But I know for a fact that her parents would keep me safe. I trust everybody there, and that's the reason why I keep going everywhere.
Actually, I know this dude who
also because Zozo's so cute.
There's this dude who his brother.
They're in the town. Married. It's one of those. One second. It's one of those things where it's in the town, but it's like their town is so fucking huge that imagine it's our city. Only like they live where we live, and the racists are like where Steve works, dumb far away. So it's still not like in.
still too close.
They'd have to fight more white people than black people to get to me.
We must protect this child.
Also, you live near racist now. Like, it's fucking... Because the place where Steve works is very much lots of racist. That's why I said that ways.
I mean, you saw the lady with the big black beast.
Oh my god, this lady pulls up. I'm pulled up in front of the gas station to pick Steven up yesterday, and this lady pulls up in this big ass black pickup truck, and she pulls directly in front of me, so neither of us can go forward or really anything. So I'm sitting there like, okay, Steven, take a second, so I don't have, because I ain't moving. Fuck that bitch. So she's like sitting there trying to back up, and then she's like, my car's still, I can't even, like, I can't back. I'm like, okay, fine, shit, I guess I'll move. And then I go around like this, go around like that, and then somehow she's gone exactly the other way, and then we end up facing each other again. It's like, nigga, what are you doing? If you were trying to go out that way, you should have went like that and just went out. But no, she goes around, stupid as fuck. And then she's looking at me like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, learn to drive, bitch. There was enough space for you to back up.
I mean,
that's why I don't drive after 5 o'clock on weekdays. Like, I know you were saying the other day, like, oh, on Mondays it's not as bad. I'm like, it's still just as bad because there's still not as many people, but they're still stupid. The cross section of idiots at that time is just too great. Can't do it because I would be in my car yelling at motherfuckers.
You're also in an area where you have dumb drivers.
Very. Y'all are very weird. I don't understand it. Y'all are very passive aggressive. And when I say passive aggressive, I don't mean like, oh man, no, I mean like passive then aggressive. You're sitting there at a fucking stop sign, and then you're like, should I go? Maybe I won't go. Just to be safe. Boom, dart out there right in front of the fucking car. It's like, I decided to go at the last second because fuck that person. It's like, why are you doing that? You could have went before and been the entire
Kid.
See, he says that, but then watch that be a motherfucker from like New York City or Albany or some shit that's out here. Because it's always the fucking case. Or, you know, where he's from, you know, Jersey.
I just had to turn off the link to my hands to stop myself from smacking the shit out of you. How dare you put that shit on me? I am not from Jersey. Fuck Jersey.
Close enough.
Shut the fuck up. I can't move my hands right now because if I do, they might end up smacking you. I'm like, nope, don't even do it.
Before I forget,
you notice my hands have not moved in the past minute, right?
Before I forget about the thing with you in the woods and the white people, I know this dude whose brother was getting married, and it was like deep in Pennsylvania, and he was like, I don't know if I can go because that's too close to racist country, and I started cracking up.
It is very much certain counties that's out there.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, yeah.
He did end up going because it was his younger brother's wedding, so, you know, he wanted to be there to support his brother, but like he was on the fence for it up until like the week before.
The entire time I drive down there, I'm on defense. Nigga.
Driving through all that when I had to help Javi move, it was very much like
I will give them this. It's funny because people stare at you. They're like they've never seen a black person before. But a lot of them, I will say, a lot of them are nice. They just are not used to black people, so they don't see them a lot. But a lot of them are nice. They are hospitable. Like, I had a dude who actually helped me get to Sydney's house one time, my friend's house. Because I had stopped at, actually around the corner from where she actually lives. Around the corner from them is still dumb far, but still. I had to stop at the gas station. They let me use the phone and everything. They were like, oh yeah, man, you lost? Oh yeah, that happens all the time. It's fine. This time, blah, blah, blah. Like, they were very nice. People,
no, I'm not saying
and the Amish people, they are the nicest fucking people. Yeah, there's this one Amish kid that I am like invested in this motherfucker's life because I see him every single time I drive down there. I see him once a year, and I'm just like, you good playing? He's just like living that Amish life.
Maybe he's trying to bring you into the fold.
Amish mafia.
That ain't gonna happen.
We need to sacrifice our black person.
I love anime too much to be Amish.
I told you when I was driving to California like a little while ago how the 2 gas stations that I stopped at, that I was like really shocked at how trusting and nice they are. They were out in Colorado.
See, that's
like decor.
I've heard too many stories about people driving across country that make me worried about when we do it. But too many things where it's like they lead you into a false sense of security and they fuck you up. Now I don't know. Like the story I told you both about that. 'Cause I told you about that too. That Jason, have I told you about the story where the guy there was the guy who he was a Marine, I think, and he was driving across the country, and he came across like this stretch of land or stretch of road that had tall grass on either side, and there was a car that was kind of like in the road weirdly, like almost looked like they had swerved or something like that, and then there was belongings like clothes and suitcases and stuff like that, and like two bodies that were like laying in the street. And the way that they were laying, it was like you couldn't really. So, dude's like, should I get out and help? I'm like, maybe I should just try to drive around it. So he kind of maneuvers a little bit, finagles the bagel, use some of that Marine training, gets around, and then he goes past a little bit, and then he stops because he's like, maybe I should just call, like I should call somebody or something like that and say something. So he looks back. The two people who were in the road are now, who were laying face down on the road, are now up on their knees looking at his car. And then all of a sudden he just starts to see people coming out from the tall grass. And he's like, he gunned that shit went like 80 the rest of the fucking way. He's like, nah. They were basically trying to catch people who were helping people. Some fuck shit.
The hills have eyes.
Word. That was like a real story too.
Well, that is very much so. People going back ways.
Probably, yeah.
Which I don't do.
Then again, if you're in the middle of nowhere, every way's a back way.
But I told you the one thing that freaked me out, but that was because I was about to get mauled by fucking wolves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
Trying to make you part of the pack.
Trying to make you the leader.
But I mean, like I said, they were 20 feet up on that hill, so they would have to have slid down. I was right by the fucking car, so it wasn't.
Yeah. Speaking of cars,
it was just weird.
You gonna get a new one?
It's weird.
I hope so, but I hope it happens this way, and I hope one of y'all loves me enough.
Were you able to get it fixed or no?
No,
Not yet.
Can you do it today?
My headlight's still out. What do you mean?
Like if you were able to go today, could you go and do it today?
What, and get it fixed?
Yeah.
Like at a shop?
Yeah.
I could, but then I'd have to pay my car note late. So I do have $80 now, but I'd have to pay the car note late. And I also, this is eating into my time to work today, so I also probably gonna have to pay it late anyway. So
that's how I was saying to not worry about it and just keep working, but I wanted to do it.
Fuck it, it's not a big deal. Anyway, so basically, apparently, Robert Downey Jr. wanted to show his love for Captain America, for Chris Evans, so much he bought this motherfucker a $275,000 '67 Chevy Camaro. That is Avengers themed. It was dope. It had the steering wheel has like the Captain America symbol in the middle, like the circle with the star. Shit's dope. It's a nice ass car.
No. Alrighty, Jay. All I'm asking for is just $50,000.
Greedy.
Just so I can get my mama out of debt.
I'd be good with $5,000. $5,000 would fix most of my problems right now. Which is why I wanted to do that Cash App thing. Cash App does giveaways sometimes, but there's too many scams with it. With other people trying to, give me your Cash App thing and this and that, third, blah blah. I'm like, no, let's go. But yeah, that's actually good. If you see any Cash App things and it doesn't say hashtag Cash App or Cash Support, it is not Cash App. So any other hashtags like that is Cash App's Twitter handle. It's just CASHAPP, just Cash App or Cash. I think it's I don't think it's Cash App Support. I think it's Cash Support. So don't fall for that shit, people. We don't want you getting got. That would suck.
Apparently, I got.
Wow.
Not as bad as Buffalo Wild Wings, though.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
They're in the news for two things. One, being racist as fuck. and two,
the thing with the
one of their employees died because of the cleaning chemicals that he was exposed to, and put 10 others in the hospital, 2 of which were customers.
What the fuck are they using to clean?
I gotta re-find that
Nobody
article.
cleans it like molten boron.
I gotta re-find that article, but yeah, it said 10 hospitalized, 1 dead from cleaning.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and two of them were customers.
You must dilute. Like, didn't. God damn.
It was probably like a oven cleaner.
He's probably on like
and not wearing a mask.
No
you have to
ventilation.
wear a mask when that. Yeah.
Are you talking about the ones where you spray it in and then leave it and then it dries and you scoop it out, or are you talking
No.
about the spraying ones that are
No, because there's a one that's like an actual liquid that you gotta put in and you have to scrub, and that's like the old school one where it's like really.
That's why people usually dilute it.
Those suck.
But there is a spray, but
like Carboners got dilute.
But you would have to like wipe down and like keep spraying over and over.
Gross.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of crazy that you're either you're not training people properly to use these chemicals, or you're not supervising them properly, because that's one for the fact that one died and they got 10 other people. 8 other employees and 2 customers. That's kind of crazy. And they were hospitalized. Like, they were all in the hospital, and he was the only one that died on the way there.
He was at like the epicenter.
Yeah.
Of that shit. So
Patient 0.
yeah. Wow, that fucking sucks.
Reminds me of that one case of I think it was between 2 or 3 subways out west. All of a sudden, like, over 40 cases of hepatitis C broke out because they didn't follow regular cleaning regimen.
Remember the thing I told you about?
That's the one with the clothes where it was in a department store and something got onto the pants. No, that was with a Walmart with women's clothing, and I think a group of teens wound up having like a severe case of herpes or some shit like that because of that. Yeah.
That's why you wash the clothes before you.
Yep.
But you can't really do it
because they tried them. But see, where they fucked up, they were wearing underpants.
They weren't wearing underpants?
They weren't wearing underpants.
What kind of nasty ass motherfucker tries on pants and doesn't wear underpants?
You know, girls are going to try to find any way to fit into any type of pants.
That is true.
It's like, I want to have the smallest one. Oh,
still wear
maybe the underwear is making it tight.
Like, come on. It's fucking, oh my god.
But I mean,
that's the thing I told you about with the hepatitis C, with the fucking, you fuck up the water in your house, you fuck up the pipes and shit, you could get hepatitis.
The striker in the base, we're going commando.
That's fucked up. What is it called? Is it still called commando when girls do it?
It's still called commando. At least from what I've been told.
Yeah.
That's all
that, Jason.
That's all.
Tell us about the band.
Jason was like, "Yeah, Commando night last Thursday was great. Pantsless parties, yeah."
Or nothing but a helmet.
God.
Which helmet are you talking about?
The Jimmy.
I was gonna say, as long as you don't get
both.
Anywhere near the Roman soldier.
I said both. Not the Roman soldier. I'm talking about the commando helmet.
That's also partially the Roman soldier.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a lot more sanitary.
Not the Marvin Martian one.
How the fuck do you get that on?
This is when I should have Harvey on here because I gotta make fun of him.
Why?
There was supposed to be an earth shattering.
Ask him if he can fix my shit, and then don't make fun of him. He's like, nah, I can't do both. Can't not make fun of him. So, basically, that's another thing. That's a good segue. Seeing as how you always burn and hobby and whatnot. The good news is, living skin can now be 3D printed.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So when you burn him, you can get a transplant pretty easy.
I got another thing to talk about MIT.
That's fucking gross.
That's what they did for what's the name?
Hobby.
In
Fuck you
Age
doing
of
right
Ultron.
now? What you doing right now?
I mean, they did more than just skin, but that.
What?
I said I'm with my sister right now. What's up?
Ultron said hello.
See how his ways change.
How you just gonna call somebody on the podcast?
They do it in interviews all the time.
Hobby, are you able to fix the
Just put the phone
headlight?
near the microphone.
Does the bumper have to come off? I don't see why the bumper would have to come off.
It's one of those things, Hobby. Hobby.
That's how you know
Break
you
my
made it.
balls here. Break my balls.
You said he knew what to do.
Alright.
Fucking lied to me.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. It sounds like you with your families right now. So I can't get too
Please.
rude with you. Am I? Because I wasn't invited. But anyway.
It's because you hasn't accepted the 5 chickens, 3 goats, and 8 plots of land.
Right. he wanted to date Shanice, but he ain't gonna invite me out to the family gatherings and whatnot. See? That's that fucked up shit right there.
That's why you not in the lead, player.
But anyways, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta get back to the podcast. I was trying to put you on blast, but you with family, so I'm gonna leave you alone. That's it.
I remember when
That's why he not in the lead. My pigs are in the mail. No.
when I can't think of the name of his actor, but
Sorry.
Ed from Spider-Man. When he was in an interview, he caught Tom Holland, and he was like, "Wait, Tom, don't say anything because you're live right now." He said, "Oh well, we're filming, and that's all I can say."
I remember Jake Gyllenhaal did that with Ryan Reynolds, and he accidentally almost said something. He was on that show with Seth Meyers, the Tonight Show, or whatever. I don't know. Late Show? I don't know.
There's so many of them.
Alright. Oh yeah, new Into the Spider-Verse is coming out in 2022.
Yeah.
You keep kicking the table, boy. You already basically did that.
In any case,
In any case.
about the whole skin thing,
Who's Spider?
and MIT. MIT is about to get us all fucking killed.
Why is that?
Because they just made a bunch of computerized. Right now they're just blocks, but all computers, and they're all real smart to communicate with each other and build whatever they want to build.
I mean,
Terminator.
So you can put them apart on all the table. They're gonna, hey, you come over here, and then they'll start to go towards each other.
So they're like almost borderline prototype nanites or something like that?
Yes.
I was actually gonna say, what's the name? You ever seen Big Hero 6?
Yes.
Those are the
Like
ones.
those, like how those
The nanites.
magnets are and everything.
Those
But on
things
their
are
own.
cool.
Magnets.
But on their own, they can just, if I can't remember like the area of effect from it, but they like had it. Hey, we're gonna on this big ass table.
Cubics.
I thought I wouldn't have to hear that name ever again in my life. And
You're welcome.
Here you go, just bringing shit up that doesn't need to be brought up.
It certainly doesn't, because McDonald's pissed me off. Apparently, when that was really big, and you got one of the toys, you would get a separate cubics or whatever it's called.
Oh, a separate piece.
Robot, and then you'd get a separate piece of the main one. Lo and behold, 10 Happy Meals later, I get 10 of the same goddamn piece.
It's that desire sensor.
Nowadays it's crazy because you can actually ask for like, I've heard people ask for like a specific because they still do shit like that. Like I remember back in the day they had what was it? I want to say it was Transformers, but it was like the Beast Machine ones. And
Beast
a
Machines
different
are
part
great.
of it came off, and you would, if you get all of them, you put all the different parts together, it makes like a cool see-through one. Mm-hmm. But nowadays you can actually like ask them for like different ones. As long as you know which one you're asking for, they'll be like, here you go, throw it in there.
Beast Wars.
That was one of my favorite Transformer series.
Pretty good.
They had a game way back in the day too, for PlayStation. OG.
Yeah.
You used to have the figures for him.
Yep.
So, how do you feel about Matthew McConaughey
I don't like him.
being Harvey Dent, the new Batman?
No.
He has left such little impression on me throughout my entire life as an actor, so I couldn't say. I only know his name, and that's it.
He cannot.
I only know his name and that he's a real living thing.
He's like
not capable of doing a role like that.
he's like Jeff Bridges if Jeff Bridges had no acting talent. Because they do kind of have similar like temperaments. Like they are similar people. Like they've met each other before, and they're like I watched the whole thing with these actors interviewing actors, and they were like, "We've never met, but we're like kind of the same person."
Don't, please, dear God, don't ever compare him to Jeff. Jeff Bridges is so. Listen, you can't.
I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what the two of them said. Jeff Bridges said that the two of them are like
don't want to be too close to this
cut from the same cloth, kind of, with respect to how they are outside of acting. They're both very easygoing people. They are the ones that said it. So if you're gonna get mad at me, don't get mad at me. Get mad at Jeff Bridges.
You brought in the acting aspect of it.
No, I didn't say anything about their acting. I said he's Jeff Bridges with worse acting, which means that Jeff Bridges has acting talent. You'd have to dumb him down to get Matthew McConaughey.
Even him dumbed down is 1,000 times better.
God damn. I mean, he can say words on a page. I think you can.
So can I, but you don't see me out here getting acting jobs.
Because you don't try hard enough.
I've seen.
No, it's because I don't suck dick for roles.
I've seen you in a play before.
Do it for the sport.
The challenge.
Do it for the sport. God damn.
Can I handle the Dr. Manhattan?
Ha! How do you go?
Damn. No, most people can't.
How do you go from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days to The Beach Bum?
I have no idea.
Are you looking at McConaughey's?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. He very much.
That movie
I'm sorry. It's also the fact that
they do it because they can.
Harvey Dent is such.
He is one of the most complex Batman characters.
Yep.
You have on the list.
He's never really been given like a main
complex
name, like,
characters. He's tried, and I give him credit for trying, but that is so far out of your wheelhouse.
See the veins like so far out of your wheelhouse. The neck veins.
It's like, why are you trying to fuck up everything? And I shouldn't get upset because I don't care that much about fucking Batman, but I like the fucking universe. God damn it!
His neck is
That's what you love. You love the lore and the mythos. Sort of like me, I could give a shit about Batman, but his rogues gallery has to be one of, if not the best rogues gallery in all of comic books.
People like them more than they like him, so yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's like you're just trying to get name notoriety, and if you're going to do that, get good ones.
They're all busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if Tim Roth was like taller and younger.
So that's a problem that they always have with respect to getting certain people, because sometimes their schedule just doesn't work, or sometimes
they gotta be like Disney and just breed their actors.
Well,
I've been saying for years, all these people are, they're so good. It's like they were made to be.
In all honesty, he looks a lot younger than what he actually does. You just make a job, it'll be fine. I mean, you can make someone look taller.
But like with these roles, sometimes it's not really about, it's about the star power over, people's acting ability. They do that all the fucking time, and it kind of sucks. That's kind of like how, like, Yuri Lowenthal, he's the voice of Sasuke in the dub. Mm-hmm. He's the voice of Simon in Gurren Lagann. He does buttloads of voices, but they always ask him to just do that same voice. Like, he ends up getting typecast, and he's the type of person who gets typecast all the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I honestly don't have any preference over it because Harvey Dent's not one of my favorite ones. So I didn't really care that it was Matthew McConaughey because Batman's already going to be Chris Patton. So I'm like, I don't really care.
Too bad it couldn't get old boy to come through.
Who's gonna be Catwoman though? I think
The ghost of Eartha Kitt.
that'd be dope.
I think there was like a little bit of controversy who was going to be Catwoman too. I can't remember.
Maybe Joe. Maybe they'll get the entire Twilight cast to be in the movie.
Oh, oh wait, I think it actually might be the chick from Twilight.
I wonder if that's going to conflict
I
with
heard that it was
what's her
gonna
name because
be-
she's in Charlie's Angels.
I thought it was gonna be Lenny Kravitz's daughter though. So I thought I saw a picture of Matthew McConaughey, Chris Patton, and her, the chick from
Yeah.
Is that Lenny Kravitz's daughter or is that his?
Believe that's his daughter.
Because her mom is with Jason Momoa now, right?
I believe so.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
fucking relationship, man.
that was him, wasn't it? That's right. Oh, okay.
Who?
I had to look up and see about the one guy's name that I think would be a perfect Harvey Dent if he wasn't so old, but I think it make it work. Christoph Waltz.
That could work. Dude from Battle Angel Alita.
I didn't do it.
Dude from Battle Angel Alita. He's also
Inglorious Bastard.
Yep.
He was also in a Green Hornet.
If you need a German guy, he's there. Nah,
Yeah, Joe, you're right. Just kind of get a little bit of the gray out of his hair and make him younger. He's
For Roth or Christoph Waltz?
Christoph Waltz.
he's a little bit short though.
Yeah, no. He could be Gordon. I think it'd be a great commit. I think.
I mean, after Gary Oldman did it, I don't give a fuck who does it then. Gary Oldman was fucking great at that role.
He was.
I was trying to fight the mob. That little bit of spit on his face. I was like, bruh, that nigga's in the shit. Don't kill my son.
If they want to go
I
with
think Christoph would outdo him. Christoph
My only
is such
thing
a
is,
phenomenal actor who does not get recognition.
My
for
only
it.
thing with him though is when he does a I'm gonna say a bland English accent like what we have. A little bit of his accent comes through, so that I don't.
They should go for mustache power and get J. Jonah Jameson
J.K. Simmons.
as
Actually, I think that's who they have. Is that not who they have as Commissioner Gordon?
Commissioner Gordon in Justice League. I believe.
Is he that in Justice League?
I believe so.
Because you don't see Commissioner Gordon too often because Batman, you're usually never in Gotham in Justice League. So that Justice League.
Yeah, that live action.
They might keep him.
Blight on DC's resume. I believe he was commissioner. No.
So I know Morpheus was in it too.
But he
wasn't something with the DC. I just don't remember what.
He was the head of the Daily Planet. That's why everyone.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yep.
Yeah, in Marvel.
Also in DC, which what
or
was
Daily
the
Planet? Yeah, you said Daily Planet.
Yeah. So it kind of coincided with him being the head of the Bugle from Marvel.
Proves that they're the same universe.
Yep. That's why so many conspiracy theories just started to pop up.
Fuck it. Just have Samuel Jackson be Gordon.
That could not. People would go crazy. Oh, why is Commissioner Gordon gotta be black? It's like, it's not just black. He's Sam Jackson. Like, does it matter? Nah, but
Batman, get this motherfucker.
You know who has the look of it? Do you remember I don't know his name, but the actor who played old Howard Stark in Ant-Man? He has the mustache and everything. Remember when the guy was talking junk to Hank Pym?
The same one who plays he's the one who plays Howard Stark outside of Captain America movies.
Yeah,
because he plays his dad in everything else except for Captain America. Because Captain America
is when he's younger.
It goes with the the guy looked completely different too. He goes with that like Hispanic looking dude.
Mm-hmm. He was in Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Because he's tall enough and he has the mustache.
That he could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what his acting chops are because that's the only thing I can think of him in. But just in terms of like the look, just throw some glasses on him and let him grow his hair out a little bit.
They also
Gordon.
For Gordon, yeah, he actually prefer that. Fucking, I know they're trying. I heard that they were expressing an idea of trying to get Colin Farrell to be the Penguin, and I don't know if I like that.
No.
You're trying to make the Penguin like good looking, and
They should get Danny DeVito to come back.
I was gonna say I love Colin Farrell to death, but no. If anything, I would very much love for Danny DeVito to come back as the Penguin.
Danny DeVito's an older guy now, and he doesn't feel like doing anything.
Because as soon as he premiered as the Penguin himself had a whole character revamp from then on, and it just clicked.
What did he
made
like?
it work? He was just a gentleman gangster kind of hybrid. He was maybe
that's what they're trying to go back to then.
Yeah, like that might be.
Because Riddler was a similar thing, wasn't it? Like they like Riddler didn't used to look like how Jim Carrey's Riddler looked. Yeah. He used to look like how Bowler had Green Bowler had.
He was basically.
Well, I mean, what's name used to look a lot different too. Deadshot. He used to look like a pimp.
Yeah, that's why they did that.
That's
in
why.
the movie.
So did Riddler. I mean, come on, who else want to have line?
But that's how. That's why when he was with his daughter, he had the hat on and
undoes it.
Because he used to. That's how he used to look way back, and then they completely redid his character, and that's when he gets the mask and all that.
But I like Jim Carrey's look.
Oh, I didn't say it was bad. I'm just saying.
See, no, because there's like a lot of people who say that Jim Carrey did like a horrible job. And so I was like, first of all, y'all don't fucking even know Riddler at all.
You're talking about that video.
Yeah, it's like,
where they said it was bad.
It's like y'all don't even. Y'all do not read
that
the comics
whole list
at all.
Was bullshit.
He would be the most perfect person to play.
I mean, if they could have got him, he would have been a great Carnage. Going into the other stuff, like he would be a great Carnage because he can do the crazy and he can do it well and it's scary and it's wonderful.
Yeah. We'll just have to see
how. Would you think? What was it? Kid.
Who?
Is it Kid the Batman? One of Batman's villain guys, and he's like he's dead. I want to say it's like Kid or Billy Kid or something like that. Or
he's dead?
He looks like I gotta find him. Hold on.
You talking about Craddock?
No.
The fucking ghost dude?
No.
See, when you said dead, I thought of Solomon Grundy. But you said kid, and Solomon Grundy's mad big.
He's no damn kid. If he's a kid, I'm afraid to see what he grows into.
Imagine how big his dad is if he's still a kid. Like, Darkseid size, probably.
Like
they scale Darkseid weird
a
too.
Big motherfucker. Well, because they always use like life model decoys for him and shit. Like,
yeah, because he's always like, oh, this dude is like 8 feet tall, and then it's like, no, this Darkseid is 20 feet tall.
Or Darkseid should be like Katakuri size.
Yeah, picking people up by their face.
Superman, you didn't. It's like I just sent him into orbit. It's Solomon Grundy. He's fine. Trust me, he is fine.
Yeah. Then they had versions of Solomon Grundy that were like dumb strong.
Absorb magic,
yeah, and then so there's nothing anybody could do.
That's why they had to bring in Hawkgirl because of the what's the name?
Amazo ran away. He's like, I need to go find something.
Well, that's because Amazo, like, he evolved to a point where his power, or his tech was close to how magic energy works, which is why when he was attacking him with it, he was like, he's getting stronger. I need to go figure out something. I'll be back, y'all.
That was another cool thing about Dr. Manhattan was that his powers of science are so strong that they can basically replicate magic. Because all magic is just it's energy that does a thing or whatever. And as long as you understand like how the shit works, he basically analyzed like a sigil that Zatanna had just used against him or something like that, and he basically was just like, oh, fine, that's how that works. Like he it was almost like he looked at like the alchemist circles that they have in Full Metal Alchemist of Brotherhood. They fucking they're different based on like how you draw them and what they do and the scope of what they can do. Mm-hmm. So he basically just analyzed it on that level and just recreated one, and then made like it's like, oops, I accidentally made an Eldritch Blast, which is basically like the strongest level of magic you can get to, and it's just like It's like, yeah.
It's basically giving mathematical thought to something that should be organic, inexplicable.
That is one thing I do like about DC is that they blend technology and sorcery a lot. That is one thing that like Marvel tends to not do too
Until
often.
Doom shows up.
Yeah,
Right.
Doom. Actually, yeah, you're right. Doom is like one of the only people that
Yeah.
does. But when the fuck does he come? He comes around.
Yeah, that's
every
what I was
so
saying.
often.
Like when Doom shows up, it's like there and it's in your face. But he's the only one that
Yeah.
really
Doom's
does it.
Doom's not like a. He's not like a villain of the week type person. Like he kind of used to be a little bit, but before they started doing like we need to be like the soaps and have like actual conflict and drama and shit. And once that started happening, he only comes around when he has a plan, and if he is around, you're like, ooh, what's he doing?
So I know Spider-Man,
Some
when he gets
fuck
real
shit.
fire, he goes super techie. I know in the What If story, as I was telling you, when Tony Stark becomes Doctor Strange, that's some magic tech right there that is just nasty.
I love those things where they fold the universes over. It's the amalgam or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They have the things where they fold the Marvel universe and the DC universe. So you get like Wolverine, Batman, you get like Wonder Woman, Storm, and shit like that. There was another story where it was a nod to the old stories that they used to do with DC, where they folded Marvel in on itself, and so you had like Captain America, Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
You had where you had Wolverine, Emma Frost, which I thought was dope. He was like one of the only characters that was aware that the shit had been folded like that. That was dope though. That Captain America had like the magic shields that they make. His shield that like he made it out of that. So I was like, that's fucking dope. Cool shit.
So Joe, the Batman villain you're thinking of, what do they look like?
Evil Ernie.
Evil, okay.
Evil Ernie. Let me see.
I'm trying to here.
Evil Ernie. Oh, okay, yeah.
He's like one of the lesser known villains, but he's very much one of the more scarier villains for all the things that he fucking does. And the reason why I kind of kept thinking Kid is because his last name is Fairchild, and usually just refer to him as Kid.
An undead psychotic killer is a fictional. Okay, all right.
So you think they're gonna get Jason Momoa to be Lobo? Because he would be perfect for Lobo.
He would be perfect for Lobo. What was the thing?
Well,
he wanted
no,
to do?
because he's abusing animals and shit. And they're not going to give him any jobs.
Perfect.
Actually,
Lobo.
you know what's kind of funny? Lobo actually has like a dog
God.
too. Lobo legit has a dog that's nasty. I don't know how powerful it is, but he goes around with
it's
his,
up there.
Yeah, he has his motorcycle, his chains, and his dog.
I think at one point he had to kill us.
Why do
for
I
no
see-
reason.
Yeah.
He's Brooke.
Why do I see Evil Ernie with Captain America?
It's Brooke. He's Brooke. You can't tell me he don't look like Brooke in this.
Oda, you got some splaining to do. I'm not surprised. A lot of anime is heavily influenced by comics, American comics.
I mean, there's an entire class of Yu-Gi-Oh characters or Yu-Gi-Oh monsters that are based off of American and European heroes and lore.
Yeah.
That's what the Elemental Heroes, Destiny Heroes, like
Yeah.
Destiny Hero, Dandyman's European thing.
You remember
that's all
the cape that I told
Do
Shadow
Heroes
to?
Unite?
The heroes and Destiny Heroes and the Vision Heroes are Tokusatsu.
Yeah. Remember I told Shadow to draw Hiko Seijuro and he said he didn't want to do it. And he's like, oh, because the cape would be too hard. I'm like, I'm not surprised because that cape is actually like an homage to Spawn.
What was the name of the character again?
Hiko Seijuro.
And how would you spell that?
HIKO space SEIJURO. He's Kenshin's master from Rurouni Kenshin, or Samurai X for some of you people who don't know, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. They call the anime Samurai X for some reason, or parts of it. It's weird. And then they broke down his past into a couple movies. I think that was called Samurai X. And then people just call all of it Samurai X because they're like, oh, well, that's his beginning. So that's like the first part, right? It's like, no. Evil Ernie. It's an interesting character.
Slick yet sleek. I don't know why I said slick and sleek. I meant to say simple yet sleek design.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could totally draw that. He's drawn more intricate things than that.
So that's why I told you I think Shadow hates me. No, I'm kidding.
No, he just doesn't like drawing capes.
Yeah. No capes!
I think I might be wrong on the
Evil or anything?
who he normally fights. Cause I
thought I saw Captain America.
fully remember Batman. I think I might just be putting him against Batman a lot.
Because I was looking through the covers for it and I'm like, oh, that's Captain America dead on the floor. I'm like,
it's Eternity Comics, but I think they got absorbed by Marvel. I can't remember.
It's hard to tell where anybody came from anymore.
Because it was one of those ones that was small and just kind of got ate up by one of them, and I think there might have been...
That's what happened with Shazam and Fawcett.
Okay.
That was different. They were not small. They just hit them with lawsuit combos until they were weak enough to absorb. Literally, they were just like, lawsuit.
That's Captain America.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was looking at. Lawsuit combos. Objection! Objection! Yeah, they got fucked up. But we're not going to talk about that, though. How they incorporate a character like that just because he's better than fucking Superman. And he's made of magic, so which means he should be able to spank on Superman at all times.
I wonder, like, if Marvel had...
It's not, because he's not a magical being.
Fucking is.
This is definitely an argument for Hobby, because I got so many... Like,
we mentioned it in front of him, remember?
I was about to smack him.
That shit was so dumb, because it's like... We had the argument where it's like, if the magic is making him strong, does that mean when he punches you it's magic, or is it like, it's like, no, it's kinetic force. But still, the fact that he's lightning that can strike you and the lightning is made of magic, Superman should be dead, because it's very much the same as a lightning striking a regular person. And he did that like 5 times to him.
Yeah.
He was holding him and he's like, Shazam! Lightning combos, magical lightning combos to a being that is said to be weak to magic. Not just, it hurts him. It's like, no, it's like, it treats him like a normal person. Mm-hmm. So
that's because in Justice League, they basically scaled him however they needed to scale him, which is stupid.
I just like the fact people just...
Everyone else they scaled like...
gagging on Superman won't acknowledge the fact that he got his ass whooped like so many people in the Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just take...
Oh, Superman's faster than Barry Allen. I'm like...
I literally
Superman can use the Speed Force. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Superman is faster than Barry Allen. You know what? I ain't even gonna... No, I ain't even gonna...
I had to pull up the comic where he said, I just tied it because I know everyone likes you more. It's like, he's literally stating the fact, I slowed myself down to your speed to make it an even match.
Because he's literally just using, like, his leg strength to propel himself. Whereas Barry is using a fucking bullshit elemental power of the universe to fuck shit up. Forgot what didn't they say the speed force is basically the element of the universe that like moves time forward or some shit like that. They just reworked that or something like that. And it's like, you're gonna tell me that a person who basically can use that kind of force, you're gonna tell me that he's gonna lose the most basic thing that it can do is make you go fast.
Funny enough, he's not even the fastest one.
Not even
That's
the fastest.
Wally West.
No, he's not the fastest. Impulse I think might be the fastest.
In animated, Impulse is the
I was
fastest,
going to say usually is whoever.
I thought Wally had more control over.
Well, in the overall comics, I think it's Wally because he has the most control of it, so he can utilize it best.
Well, that was the thing. They said he has the most control over it, meaning he can do a lot more of the upper tier like this shit. But when it comes to just running, I always thought that Barry was they always try to make him the fastest.
Well,
they didn't want to take
but
too much.
it's also an editorial thing where
when we were talking about Yoda and Windu.
I was going to say it's also an editorial thing with whoever is the main Flash in the story. That Flash will be the fastest, also.
Yeah, that's true. And then I also brought up the stupid thing about like
Sorry.
It's dumb to argue anything about fucking Star Wars anymore because they took everything out. It's like Disney's like, okay, so every one of those books that you've ever read in your life is all bullshit. It's like, you imagine
It's all side stories.
you imagine if somebody just suddenly Shonen Jump just decided to be dicks and they're like, yeah, all of One Piece, that shit's not real. The
That was a
movies are
dream.
real. The movies are the canon. It's like,
I just remembered there was I don't remember if it was Barry or Wally, but somebody was like,
no,
you know how they always get stuck where they have to keep running and they can't stop, and Superman couldn't catch him, and guess who he asked to catch him? Shazam.
yeah, magical bullshit.
Yeah.
Literally, I think the person that Shazam gets his speed from is
The
kind
original
of
speedster.
yeah. They call him that, Mercury.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that my favorite DC hero, outside of Flash, is Aquaman.
I kind of like Green Lantern.
And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, Aquaman's he's such a bitch."
That's because they
such
crap
a
on
bitch.
him in
And
the
then when
in
I
the
pull out the
animated
fact that
stuff.
yeah, he's such a bitch, but he put the paws on your boy Superman a few times and then
Literally,
put him in his place.
He is one of those characters that, like, if he's not the grizzled, rough version that's lost a hand and has like the sea fork or whatever on his, or, like he has the hook for a hand that can control the ocean or whatever. If he's not that version, then he just needs to be evil, and then he's the strongest thing that, like, in the Justice League. As long as Superman hasn't been like sucking the sun's dick for too long or whatever. Because you know that they always do that. They're just like, oh fucking, he just runs up to the sun and he just fucking just sits there, just collects more.
Then just let Aquaman be underwater. His already Herculean strength it multiplies as soon as he's underwater anyway.
And then also on top of that, I think he can
and even without
dissipate
that,
all of his energy.
And we'll see what fighting. Oh, that's an unfair advantage because Superman can't breathe underwater. Bitch, now we can, so they can fight underwater and see about this shit now.
Superman doesn't even need air. He can survive in
Who the fuck
space.
said Superman can't word? Exactly. Who the fuck said he can't breathe underwater, but he doesn't need to breathe?
Yeah, he can survive in space, which is
That
always
nigga-
weird when
He's
he
a
would go
fucking
in.
Namekian. He doesn't need to
Yeah.
breathe. He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't need to. Well, Namekians still need to drink
Water. But it was always weird to me when Superman will always have a spacesuit when he goes into space, and because he doesn't need air. And someone was like, "Oh, it's because it's like it's
There's
nature
different
versus
versions.
nurture."
There's
Well,
different
someone said
versions.
it's a
There-
nature
it's that
versus
too,
nurture,
but it's also
where it's like he doesn't
depending on
know
who's
he doesn't
writing
need
it.
air. So and I'm like,
It's depending on who's writing it too, because sometimes, like when they do American comics, which is the one reason why I didn't want to get into American comics because I
did anyways.
It's so fucking dumb how they you let anyone write anything, but it's like you have certain traits that are propelled forward. So like Superman's ability to fly. One writer just said like, hey, let's steal that from Shazam, and then just put it in him, and then from now on, every writer says Superman can fly. But then you have other things where it's like Superman can breathe in space. Like not every writer says that. A lot of them do, some of them don't. So it's not the same as like the Hulk can breathe underwater. That was just written in at one point because he was fighting underwater, and they were like, oh, he's not dead. Okay, I guess he can just breathe underwater. People forget that he has that power because when's the last time Hulk was fighting anything underwater?
When they held up Manhattan. Who were they fighting? They were fighting someone. I think he was like an Asgardian or something.
Namor.
No, it was this big blue dude
Fucking asshole.
with like gold armor. And I remember he was trying to like sink Manhattan or something.
Blue dude with gold armor.
Because I know he was in Fear Itself. I'm pretty sure he's part of Fear Itself. And
that could be anybody.
He tried to sink Manhattan, and basically he was thumping Thor and Wolverine or Thor and
Actually,
Iron Man.
Blue with gold. That could have been any person that got a hammer.
And
so mad people got
Hulk
hammered.
was literally underwater holding it up. And he was like, oh, and they were fighting on top. So every time they fought, they would push it back down. He was getting mad because they kept doing that. And then he knocked them into the water, and he was bodying them in the water. So Hulk like threw the city up, threw them out, and then went up just.
Yeah, but
Done.
Very much all those things are consistent with
Submariner?
That's
I don't think so.
That's Namor's name, isn't it? The Submariner.
I'm trying.
That's
That's
his
I'm
like
yeah.
subtitle or whatever.
I'm trying to remember
Submariner.
because there's a version of Submariner when he's real big and it looks kind of like him. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like there are certain things that they keep going forward because the editor says like, okay, this is what you need to be consistent with because this is the time frame of your story and it's going to conflict with his shit. Which is why I don't know, editors. The whole thing's fucking weird. And then you got people who are undermining other universes because they're like, oh, Marvel sucks and it's part of the DC universe. Like, really? Why are you saying that, Brian Michael Bendis? Is it because you used to work for Marvel and you no longer work for them? Now let's work for DC?
Interesting.
But
no, I just, and I know I when I'm with certain people, I get very much. Oh, I'm just gonna shit on certain characters just because.
It's
Superman.
hilarious.
Mainly Superman and Sakura because they're like the biggest
it's
triggers.
so easy. You can be triggered by. I said like, oh, Sakura gets a fucking paper cut and she can't heal it. And fucking. And just watch the fucking hatred just roll in.
Yeah,
it's not even. It wasn't even. It's not even that serious.
So great though.
I guess she's just a bad doctor. It's like fucking. You just see people just fuming at the metal, like fucking. Oh.
I could just smell Jeremy's angst from here.
Think is this dude.
Hatred. Oh, okay. What is his name? Is he the Submariner?
Nope.
Triton.
He
Triton.
He is Atlantean though.
Is
His
he
name
Triton?
is Atuma.
Atuma.
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm pretty sure it was him though.
Atuma was the dude who there was a fucking.
This dude. This is the guy he was fighting and he was trying to hold up the city while fighting him.
There was an Avengers story.
Yeah.
There was an Avengers story or cartoon. Remember the Avengers cartoon where like Hulk was friends with the Beyonder and everything like that?
Mm.
I think in that show, that guy's a bad guy.
That was probably the one where he fought him then.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so it's been like 3 hours. So I think we should cap it here unless anybody has anything else to say. Unless you want to talk about something else.
I was gonna have an inspirational message thing because I think that's been kind of a normal thing I've been doing, but I know you got to get to
Normal,
it. So.
you did it once before.
Twice. 2 in a row.
Hey, let's go 3 for 3.
No, he doesn't like when light-skinned people try to be good because he wants everyone to think that we're bad people.
Justin.
I don't do that. Y'all do that to yourself.
Really? Really? You couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Y'all niggas do that to you. No, because I'm laughing because you think that you good. First of all. Second of all, you think that anybody
You
has to
cannot
hold you back.
say-
You dig your own graves.
You
your
cannot
own
say
color
that
pancake batter graves.
See? This fool will fight me on the fact. I will try to say I'm mean and I'm bad and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, you're like the nicest person around. Then he's going to say, no, you're the meanest one. Pick. Which one am I?
Things can be true.
Am I April Ludgate or am I Joe?
You're Harvey Dent. You got both.
Wow. You're both, yeah.
CJ brings it
You
together.
hold your inner your Josephness is holding in your April Ludgate-ish, but like if you're around the certain people, April would just kind of pop out.
So you're saying I'm two-faced.
I already said you're Harvey Dent.
Which means I'm the worst person in the world then.
I mean, every superhero is two-faced.
No.
'Cause if you're calling someone two-faced,
No.
that means they're just worse.
Dr. Light's well, I'm not gonna talk about it.
If I say Batman is two-faced,
Right.
because he has Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Dr. Light is a whole nother story.
We don't talk about that. That's one of them comic taboos that's like, why did comic books do that? It was like, to push the envelope, bitch. Why'd you put that bitch in the fridge? To push the envelope.
I told you to do that in Cloak and Dagger, right?
That shit's fucked up. That's not that, and they do it again every so often, and you're just like, nigga, that's not something you just lightly put in the story. Like, oh hey, remember when that happened to Kyle Rayner? It's like, yes, everybody knows about that. Stop doing it. We don't talk about it.
It's literally the Shao Tucker situation with that. Because that whole thing was just
There
fucked.
are very much certain things in certain stories that you do not talk about and you do not make fun of. And of course, trolls are going to be like, now I found a place where I can just stab people. So they're like, yeah, Matthews, yeah, his daughter's a bitch. It's just like, dude, really? Like, you're just saying, you're making yourself look like a complete fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the few moments where you get serious in anime. Where you're like, you look at me, I'm not smiling right now. Because I just thought about Maze Hughes and his fucking daughter, and I thought about the thing that Jeremy just shared the other day that I've seen 1,000,001 times where she's like, "This is my dad," and she's showing pictures just like he always used to, and I'm like, "Shit, get that bitch a raise."
If it's to propel a plot, tear apart a character, and then take the remains and rebuild it from the ground up, cool. But tread lightly. That's all.
Very careful.
You see, they treaded very carefully with Hughes, and it was very well done, and it was very emotional. But they went too fucking far with Shadow Tucker.
Shadow Tucker was very fucked up. For like no reason to, because he would have got caught eventually. So
The one with Cloak and Dagger was Yellow Ranger's boyfriend. Remember I told you she was the cop in Cloak and Dagger?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
And apparently she's friends with Misty Knight in the shows. Because you know how the Marvel stuff is loosely all connected?
Yeah.
So she was like, if you think this is crazy, you should hear stories my friend Misty tells me.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
like,
I saw that episode with you.
Wait, which?
Where she said, like, I heard her say something like that.
Dino Thunder.
Yeah, that is her.
Yep. And then Yellow SPD or RPM is iZombie.
Yeah, which I never get. Oh, red RPM is in Jessica Jones.
Yep. Red SPD was in Smallville.
Franchises.
He's been in everything.
Yeah.
Crossbreeding.
I would say Pink Time Force was in The Mentalist.
Rangers RPM. Get it, girl. Oh, I saw a whole thing where they were trying to quantify what exactly a nerd is, like the difference between a nerd and a geek, and I was like,
good luck with that.
oh, fucking nerds. They said nerds are smart and geeks would like a nerd would be smart, and then a geek would just be like well known with respect to like they know about anime and all that other shit and all that. I'm like, I barely even hear anyone use the word geek anymore, so I'm like, nerd is literally just like a person who has a passion about anything. So there are some dumb nerds.
That's what an otaku is. Someone who has passion and has a lot of knowledge about something.
That's why we name ourselves that. Because at the end of the day, all of us are representative of the 5 great categories of a nerd. There's 5 great categories of nerd shit. There's sci-fi and fantasy. There's tabletop shit. There's video games. Anime, manga, and toku. Then there's another thing. I can't remember.
That's just me. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Comic books.
And then you bring Eric in, there's the 6th one. Furries.
No, that easily falls under some anime shit. Because
golly.
But yeah,
you need to have them on this for how many
he's
times?
been on here before.
I'm saying we just need to have him on this just for how many times we just call him out for being...
Let him defend himself. Let him squirm in the seat in front of the fucking microphone. Shine a light in his face, like, so.
Defend yourself.
Just put up your fist. Defend yourself. Defend. It's fucked up. Alright, so what was your thing you wanted to say to uplift the peoples? So I also thought about saying one, but let's see if I accepted that into your head.
Well, it doesn't have to just be me. I was mainly going to try and talk to the women out there.
The whammon?
The whammon.
Oh, the whammon.
Smooth Gus. Oh, yeah.
To
women.
Should I just
I'm your
pull
friend.
up
My name is
Dolomite music?
No, you don't need to bring up any Dolomite music. This is really about the fact that you have a lot of women who went through a very traumatic relationship. Either they were married or engaged and otherwise, and then just got their hearts broken, and then they turn into very kind of hateful people. Not in the fact that they're just being hateful toward everyone. It's just anyone that tried to come near,
trusting because of past.
Yeah, anyone that tries to come near them, they're just going to get them to run away from them because I don't want to get hurt again. Don't come at me because I don't want to be hurt again.
My brain went way over here. I thought you were going to go with like that movie with Jennifer Lopez when her husband was like beating her and stuff. And
was it enough? No.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going.
I watched that. I watched that movie with my nieces, and I was like, "Let me tell you how you do this shit. You wait for that motherfucker to leave. You set that shit up. I told them like the only mistakes she made in this, that, third was this, this, and this. Don't wait to do this. If you got a gun to his head, but don't. I mean, if you have to, don't shoot him. I walked them through that shit, and I was like, y'all need to learn self defense. Y'all need to.
Or you can go to Medea route, hot grits.
Grit ball.
Do that at family reunion. So when
Actually, I did tell them that.
Yeah, high grits. But continue, John. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. It's because there are a few people that I know who are kind of like this, and I'm trying to get them to get out there, and because they're always complaining that they're alone and they see everybody else and they're happy and it makes them upset and nobody wants me and I'm this and that and it's not the case. Just take the time to allow yourself to be in those feelings. Talk to someone about it, either be a friend or a family member or what have you. Could even be a coworker. I don't give a damn. The random homeless guy on the street who asks you for $1, talk to him about it. Just get it out there, and it helps. Because talking something through helps. It lets you help move past it. But don't just force yourself to be alone, and then just stew on the fact that you're alone and think that it's the world doing that to you. Put yourself out there. There's always someone out there who finds you attractive, no matter what. I mean, if you're a guy, I'm sorry, you ugly as fuck. You ain't get no one. But women,
try to keep it together because I know your message is very important. But when you said something about telling the random homeless guy, I'm like, yo. Whole scenario played out. Bitch, I ain't got no place to sleep. Bitch, I live in a fucking trash can.
They're trying to kill my father.
No, but yes.
But
you said is very important.
it's because one of my sisters is like that, and that's why she was in a relationship with her ex for a very long time, and it's been back and forth and very abusive because she doesn't feel worthy, I guess is how she would put it. But it's just stop having that pity party. People, and that's like what it is. It is a pity party. I know it's a harsh thing to say, but hey, people are going to be there for you for as long as you're going to try and let them be around. And this is me talking about friends, and they're going to try and love you into being whole again.
I'm trying to swallow my fucking smile right now because I'm trying to keep it together. This nigga, I know your message is good, but you gonna make some enemies out of some women. Nigga, we might have to dig a motor out of the house.
I don't care. If I have to be the bad guy to help them get past this, I'll be the bad. Come here and punch me in the face and get over the man that actually hurt you.
He's the Lelouch of the
women.
women's.
Ain't gonna do nothing. No. Oh wow.
In order to bring everyone together, you gotta become the enemy.
So I'll be the Suzaku. I'll just like kill you, then I'll get all women.
Yes,
okay, that's fine.
There you go.
I actually gotta watch that movie.
But no, it's something that they kind of has been getting to me because there's a few people who are really close to me who are like that, and I'm trying very hard to get them back out there. So far, I'm making headway with one, because I did convince her to be like, we're going to small steps. Tinder. It's a stupid app, but it helps people get back out there.
Those people find some weird shit too.
Once they reach that lower level of self-esteem,
it's hard.
All that risk.
It's hard to come back from. I know it's hard to come back from.
But basically, when you wake up in the morning, you're taking a risk once you leave your house. That
even staying in your house is risky.
Yeah. So you're already being brave in one great notion or another, no matter how mundane it seems. So it would just be another step towards you getting over that risk.
Yeah.
It can do nothing but help you in that sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
And my message is
The letter P.
for penis. No, okay.
Wow.
But my message is.
Oh, Justin, are we, getting that low hanging fruit?
Damn right it hangs low. Nah, my message is give people their flowers while they're here. Don't waste time and don't waste, energy on things that have hurt you in the past. This time, third, blah, blah, blah. You have to try to work through things and you have to make it up with people because people are not going to be here forever. And I don't want to hear you sitting there moaning and complaining afterwards when they're not here. That you did, we never fixed our relationships. Like, Negro, because you had every single chance. Every day is a new chance to make yourself a better person, to fix your relationships, to make your life better. So do it. And especially those people who pass on, they definitely want you to be happy. So don't spend too much time dwelling on the past.
And my message for people who are...
Honestly, when you said that, I just thought of Digimon. Look to the past as we head toward the future to reclaim the digital world.
Sure, yeah, why not? Only instead of the digital world, it's a better you. About that.
I mean, you get the Digimon in the digital world, so it is a better you.
What you got?
I swear to God.
And for my message, it's pretty plain and simple for those of you out there dealing with loss and heartbreak. Totally generic saying, but it does wonders. Time never truly heals all wounds. It only lessens the pain, but you get through it one day at a time. Don't be sad that it ended. Just be happy that it was there.
Exactly. Is everybody good?
Japanese proverb:
Oh God.
true happiness is to hold flowers in both hands.
Why did I just think of Lumpy Space Princess? It just means what it means. Alright, guys. With that, we'll leave you another episode. And take care. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Salutations.
You not gonna sing? I'm really not gonna sing.
What?
Chala.
You want me to sing or not? Master, I can sing for you if you want me to sing.
Gotta bust out some Fullmetal Alchemist.
No, that's the other podcast right there. Alright, peace.